Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everyone today? I am fine. Let's check our gold price coming up nicely, 23.24. Let me shoot this to D. So I had a later day today. I apologize. It's at the pool waiting for the hot tub, which broke, and they're fixing it. Couldn't do it. When I talked to a friend of mine, so I didn't leave at the right time. So again, I apologize for that. Okay. So we'll start with gold and we'll get to the picks. So in the gold, I hate when this does that. What did I just say? 23.24. So it got down to 22.95 today, and at 6 in the morning on the Asian hit, and then we went all the way up to 23.31. Now we're sitting comfortably at 23.24. Again, yesterday, I'm not sure why people think it was profit taking or a correction. It's bullshit. It is not a correction when it's not at the right price. A correction is when a stock, let's take Amazon, and it has a value on their financial statements. They make so much money. There's so many shares outstanding. Earnings per share, Price should be $140. And the price is $120, and then it goes up to $175. Wow, it just went up $50. People will take their profit because it really is too high. It really should be at 140. Hey, Greg and John. Okay. Good morning, good afternoon to you. So that's what profit taking is. It's in a stock. You've made a lot of money and you've taken your profit because you think it's going to go down, and maybe you buy back Amazon, or maybe you buy another stock. Maybe you go into Microsoft because you're hunting around for the undervalued stocks. So if you make all that money, you get out of it. But gold is not stock. Gold, there's no financial statement. There is no value of physical gold. That's correct, because we don't really know what it is, but we know it's much higher than this paper gold bullshit. And therefore, just because it went up to 2,400 does not mean this was profit taking. First of all, gold doesn't work that way because of the premium. So if I were to sell my gold today at 23.24 and take profit because I bought it at 1,800, it'd be the stupidest thing I could do. But let's say I did it. So I'm going to go to my store and he's going to give me 50 ounces at 23.24, let's say. Okay, now what do? I'm back on the Titanic. What good does that do me? Doesn't do me a whole lot of good. I got to get off the Titanic. That's the whole point of what we're doing. The whole point of the class. It's the whole point of our economics. It's the whole point of our life. We're dumping this for gold. So why would I want to sell 50 ounces and profit take to get this? And now I got to get out of this. So let's say now gold's 23.24. I can't buy it for that because there's a premium, and I'm going to spend 24.24 for it. I'm going to spend $100 more. Why would I profit take? It's the dumbest thing because I can't. The problem is I can't stay in this because I know this is worthless. As I say, that's the Titanic. So I am on the lifeboat. So what you're telling me is I got to get off the lifeboat, lifeboat and back on the Titanic as it's sinking. And how does that make any sense? So this was not profit taking. This was not a correction. This is not a stock. This is gold. There's a whole different animal in gold. So as Luke was getting uncomfortable, the heat was turned up on him yesterday as we watched it go down and down and down. At least today we're seeing it up, up, up. This we didn't see yesterday for some reason. That's why I said maybe there was a holiday in China or India and they couldn't buy. I don't know. But this is what you expect to see every day, this up. So it's up since 6 in the morning, $22.95 up to $23.23. So it's up $28. Okay. And it'll keep going up and up. I think they shot their load with the derivatives yesterday. I don't think there's anything left much to shoot. And I don't see anything at 10 o'clock. It went from 23.31 to 23.19. So it's $10-12, which by 12 o'clock was back 23.31. And I'm expecting to see more this afternoon. But anyway, this is more of it. So when you see it drop, it was not profit taking. Nobody in their right. There's no way you can profit take gold that makes any sense. I mean, unless you bought it at $500 an ounce, you got out of it at 23. But then the problem is you have to get back into it. You can't be in dollars. There is no way you can be on the Titanic after it hit the iceberg. It's going down. So if you think you're profit taking, you have to understand where are you going to go. You're in the only lifeboat there is. There's a gold lifeboat and a silver lifeboat. That's the only lifeboats there are. This is sinking. It hit the iceberg. So what the hell do you think there's profit taking? How can it be profit taking? And that's the only way it can be a correction, because if you're going to sell your gold, you sell it. Now, these are derivatives being sold, which are shorting it, which are it's not correcting. It's not a profit taking. It's the U.S. doing derivatives to lower the price. That is not a correction. That's bullshit. Hey, John, nice game on the game. Well, thank you. Again, I'm feeling it out. I think I lost my 10-star game, which made me upset. Milwaukee over 7.5. They scored 6 or 7 runs, which freaked me out. I did. It was okay. Hit Philly, hit Atlanta over, hit the Minnesota under, St. Louis, San Diego, and I lost the Milwaukee, and I think I lost the Mets. I think they were a close game. We'll go through that in a minute. But anyway, so that's why it can't be profit taking. And then the correction, there's no way JP Morgan is correcting. It's too high for him, and he's trying to knock the price down. That is not a correction. Hate to break it to you. That is simply them trying to price fix it, because there is no correction. It is not high. This gold price of 2,300 is not high. It's not overvalued, as I said, with the Amazon stock in the beginning going from 120 to 170. And then people don't think it's going to go up anymore, so they sell because they just made money, and they think 170 is the high. Well, this is not the high. 23.23 is nowhere near the high of gold. And I'm going to play a Egon one for you today, which will tell you that. I'm going to try to play the Gaddafi one. I'm hoping there's not a trademark on it or a copyright. That's what happens when the wrestling ones, it's a copyright, and then I'm not allowed to play it. I'm not sure that's going to be a copyright. Like, I know when I do Mark McGuire or Egon, there's no copyrights on it. I could see where the WWF has a copyright, but I'll try to play that one. It'll really explain a whole lot. And again, Gregor John, see, I swore, and I don't get any problems from telling him to F off. I get problems when I go against the World Health Organization, which makes absolutely no sense. So I'm in the pool today being stoic, and some guy joins me. I'm in a big lane. He says, "Can I join you?" I go, "It's not my pool." this pool is the club's pool, and you're more than welcome in it. Just leave me alone. Just let me do I'm doing laps. So just let me I run a lot and swim a lot. Let me just do my laps. What makes no sense? That I can swear, but I can't talk about the World Health Organization? I agree with you. Doesn't make any sense to me either. And when I got the strike, that's what it was. It was against the World Health Organization. And I didn't say anything about it. So I think I can swear because I say this video is not intended for kids. So I guess they don't care if I swear or they don't catch it. I don't know, but I swear a whole lot. A lot of it's just passion and frustration over some of the stupid things. But so I'm in the pool, and the guy makes a comment. So I was being stoic with him. I said, I don't care. And then we were talking. So I brought up like gold, of course. And this guy didn't get it. And then we're bringing up different things. And, and he just doesn't, it's like, I'm not going to push it. I'm not really going to say much. In the morning, I was out with my friend who's the lifeguard. We talk gold. She gets it. So I like talking to people that get it, right? So she's like, well, you should charge for your classes. And I'm looking into that instead of keep working. So what I would do is a free segment here on the baseball and the football and some of the economic, and then teach economics. So if you really want to learn gold and economics, that'll be a class. And I think you can do private here, and people have to pay to get that. But I would still do, kind of what we talk about, except not as much teaching economics and gold in free, but in the class. So we'll see. I'm trying to figure out how to do that because I'm so tired of working for people that I'm smarter than. I haven't heard on the 3 jobs yet. I'm anticipating it Thursday because it's the 25th. It's a good day to hear about it. It's a lucky day. It'll be 7, but give them a week. They've got the thank yous. It takes time, especially getting hired for a permanent job takes a while. The contract jobs usually are pretty quick, so we will see. But I won't do anything. I'll start bugging them Thursday. So anyway, silver's 27.31 even, and it had gotten as low. Let's see, what was silver? Silver had gotten all the way down to 26.68. Oh, look, 6 o'clock. Oh, it's the same time that gold dropped at 6 o'clock. It's amazing how the derivatives do the same thing. So it had gotten down, so it's back to 27.30. So again, there's too much demand for these prices to drop. So please don't worry. You must understand that the Federal Reserve and JP Morgan are price fixing it down. Now there's 2 reasons. One, they want you in this and they don't want you in gold. 2, the people who want to buy the gold and silver want to buy it as cheap as possible. So the derivative allows them. So they're buying gold today at 23.22 or even at 6 a.m. at 22.95, not at 2,400. But it's not at 2,000 either. So it's coming up. So there's not much left, and the central banks are buying it hand over fist. So is China, so is India. So don't worry about demand. It's really just JP Morgan. Now, I don't know why we didn't get the runs back up yesterday. We'll try to listen to Mark McGuire on that or something where they can say China had a holiday and so all the downs went. But today it's back to normal. There's always the demand. So we will see. We'll see where it ends. I guess it'll end 22, 40 or 50. Or 23, 40, or 50 on its way back to 24, on its way to 25 and 3,000. Again, you got to be patient. So that's where we're at. So everything's fine with gold and silver. Part of it is with all the dollars going out. So as this goes to zero and as this goes to zero, what are all these people in the Euro countries and in the US going to do when these go to zero? They're going to have to go to gold. But by then, gold's going to be so expensive. So then this is why I want to teach the class to explain. So because gold's so expensive, that's the problem. Gold's very expensive. So you better buy it now. But when they try to buy it later, there's not enough. There's very low supply. So that's going to force the price up because there's more. So it's the Mahomes card. There's 200 people that want the 50 count Mahomes card. So they know there's only 50. So 50 have it, but 150 want it. So they will sell it for the right price. You want to give me 10 grand for this? It's yours. That's how it works. So I have it now and I'm content with it and I don't mind it. However, if I get the right offer, I'll sell it. And that's what gold will be. People will be able to sell it for 20 grand and people, oh, okay, 20 grand. Yeah, I'll sell an ounce or two. You're not going to sell all your ounces. You're just going to sell a little. Now the banks have the 400 ounce bars, the big James Bond Goldfinger bars. So they're not selling those. I don't know what they're going to do with them because if you do want to sell, you're not going to sell the whole bar. I mean, I'm going to sell 2 ounces. I'm not selling a whole thing. So this would be interesting. So there's going to be a forced demand because of basically the governments have monopoly are printing money like it's water and don't understand consequences of overprinting, and therefore that's the problem. So your only out is gold. So you're on the Titanic and there's only a gold lifeboat and a silver one, and that's it. So even if you were to get out of the lifeboat, it makes no sense to go back on the Titanic, which is the whole point I'm making here. If you get out of the euro and the dollar and the British pound, the Swiss franc, there's nowhere to go. BRICS will have the gold back currency. Africa is probably all going to go gold back. It's probably the best place to live is Africa or Russia. Russia is very capitalistic right now, and Africa, even though there's military regimes in charge, I think that's probably going to be very. Once there's a lot of money around, it becomes more capitalist, not socialist, and becomes friendlier and opener. Because I was just watching this John Stossel one, and it's basically you don't have racism or discrimination in capitalism. So, like I sell football picks, right? Part of one of my hats. I don't care who buys. As long as you want to buy, I'm fine. I don't care what color you are, what religion, whatever you are, I don't care. You got money, you'll get my picks. It's perfectly fine with me. And that's what capitalism does. So that's what you want. So you're running a store, you don't care anything. The customer comes in with money, I don't care. He's blue, red, green, or yellow. You're fine. And that's really gets rid of racism, capitalism. Anyway, so that's what they were talking about. I'll get more into that later. So let's switch to baseball and then we'll go into Egon. So 23-22 right now, 27-30. So let's look at yesterday. I was okay, but it was our first time using the new method, but I was a little upset at my 10-unit plays that lost. I was frustrated there. So Oakland beats the Yankees 2-0. It had already started. These 1:00 games on Monday. It had already started, so we didn't pick it. We didn't know who our pitchers were. Philly 7, Cincinnati nothing. We have Philly. We got the W. Suarez 4-0 with the 1.36 against Hunter Green, 0-2 with the 4.55. Philly got the W, off and running. Pitt 4, Milwaukee 2. We had Milwaukee over 7.5 as our 10 unit. Now, what happened here? I think there was a pitching change. I'm not sure. Jared Jones was 2-2 with the 2.79 against Joe Ross, 1-2 with the 4.05, I believe, were the starters. Milwaukee, I have as an A team. They score 114. They got a 279 average. So I thought they would score more than 2 runs on a pitcher with a 279. And Pittsburgh is a over team also, I guess, at 96 and 99 with a 4.08 ERA and a 240 batting average. Now, am I right? I don't know that Pitt's an over team. However, they both hit well. They both have weak pitching. How they get to a 4-2 game, I don't know. So it's a 6. The reason it was 10, it was over 7.5. So I was shocked that it didn't get to 7.5 with Milwaukee sitting and that. So again, I kind of played it more because it was 7.5. And Jared Jones held Milwaukee to 2, I guess. Detroit, Tampa. I had Tampa under 7.5, and it goes to 8. Tampa hits a home run in the 8th inning, so 7-1. Schoolboy with a 1.82 against Zach Littell, 1-1 with a 3.33. I know Schoolboy's pretty decent pitcher, Tampa, and then I looked at Detroit as an under team with 85 runs, 84, the 2.94 ERA, and a 220 batting average. So Detroit's an under, and Tampa is also is an over 93. They give up 111. So this is like a football team with a bad defense. The 4.32 ERA, so Detroit scored 7 runs, which is unusual. And we lose it where they get 8 instead of 7. All these games are a little screwy where you think they're going under, they go over, and you can't figure it out. And when they hear this, should never have gotten to 7-1. But I guess the Bull. Let's dig into this game. Who do I want to win, TK? Win what? What are we talking about? Who do I want to win what? You can't ask me a question like that. It's too broad. You need to get more specific. So Skubal comes in with a 1.82 ERA, gives up 3 hits, no runs, and then the next guy with the 1.64 W Vest, 164, no runs, no hits in 1 inning. Then the next guy's 238, gives up the home run. Stu Miller. And then the last guy's a .87. So you can see the Tigers' pitching is very good. Jay Wentz gave up 1 hit. So that makes sense, and that's what I thought. Detroit wouldn't score. Detroit scoring 7 is the problem. So we look at it, and it was the pitcher, Zach Little, with a 3.33 ERA, which I don't think it was that high. It gives up, in 6 innings, gives up 9 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned. That's what killed us is their pitcher. But then they go to the bullpen. Dravesky, 2 innings, gives up 2 hits and 1 run with a 6.92 ERA. And Kelly with a 6.35 ERA. Now, they probably came in because they were down 5 or 6-1. The guy gave up 6 runs. They scored 7. So they're down 6-0. So they brought in the Pigs. So it's Zach Little sucked. Yeah, he's 1-1 with a 3.33. Who do I want to win, TK? Enjoy the stream. So you still didn't ask me who do I want to win. Are you saying you enjoy the stream? Okay, Greg and John, you're talking like Bobby. I can't follow what you're saying. You're incomplete sentences. Who do I want to win? Are you talking baseball? I haven't gotten to the picks yet. And then enjoy the stream. Is that you enjoy? I enjoy the stream. Okay. Atlanta 3, Miami nothing. We had Atlanta over 9. It didn't even get close. See, here's where I think the pitcher changed. I think when I look at the pitchers, This R. Weathers pitched, but he's got a 3.16 ERA, and Elder for Atlanta has a 0. Well, why would I have bet the game over with a 0 ERA and a 3 ERA? I never would have bet it over. Now Atlanta is an A team, okay, with a 4.32, and Miami is a Z team. So when I looked at the pitchers, this Elder I don't think was scheduled, and therefore Atlanta would have been the play, not Atlanta 9. But I can't, we're on kind of late yesterday, and they're not giving me the correct pitcher. It's pissing me off. All right, Toronto KC, I had Kansas City. Toronto wins. Kikuchi for Toronto, 2.28 against Brady Singer, 2.76. So probably even, I don't even know if the over-under was where it was at, but so this was an 8. Toronto wins 5-3 at Kansas City. Now, Minnesota under 8.5. I finally hit. Minnesota wins 7-0. 2 bad pitchers, but 2 terrible hitting teams. Chicago gets shut out. They're a very bad team, probably the worst team. St. Louis, Arizona. I've got St. Louis. Here come the winners. Ryan Hensley, 2-2 with a 2.25 against Ryan Thompson, 0-1 with a 1.86. So taking St. Louis, they win 5-3. San Diego, 3-1. Probably betting against Colorado because Colorado stinks. And I had Dylan Cease. I love Dylan Cease. He's getting up there with the Verlanders where we can trust him. 3-1 with a 1.82. Have San Diego a W. Baltimore over California. We have Baltimore. They win 4-2. Suarez 1-0 with an 0. Oh, sounds like a bullpen guy. Crimble. I don't know who the starter was. Let's see who the starter was. But Baltimore is a very good team. A lot better than California. Let's see. Suarez was the starter with a 0.00 ERA, our kind of guy. Pitched 6 innings. Let's look at their bullpen. Pretty good. The closer's a 0.9, a 1.86, a 2.3, and then the guy came in for a 1/10 of an inning, gives up 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. He's got a 5.59 ERA. What's he doing on the team? Send him down. California had Reed Detmers with a 2.12 ERA, so we can see why the game went under. But they hit him pretty good. 6 hits, 4 runs off of Detmer. So that was what we expected. Our guy with the 0.00 ERA. So keep an eye on Albert Suarez for Baltimore. He's a stud. And then the last game, we have the Mets over 8.5. We don't get there. It's 5-2 San Francisco. Keaton win against Jose Quintano. 4.21 ERA and I guess a 3.54 ERA. You would have thought this went over. The Mets are an over team. They hit 251 with a 3.48 ERA. You would have expected more than 2. Frisco, also an over team with a 250 batting average of 4.8. So the surprise was the Mets only scored 2. And really, Frisco only got 5. 2 over teams, 8.5, but we don't get there. We get a 7. So we are looking at variables. I think the first one of the pitchers is probably still the most important. And then we'll get into, then we can get into how much does the hitting and the bullpen matter to us. But we'll do that. So let's look at today's. Who do I want to win? So I assume Greg and John's talking baseball. So we'll go baseball. All right. So we start off. Our first game's at 6:10. It's 4 o'clock. You get 2 hours. So I think what I'm going to start doing is we'll do baseball, football when it's football season, and that's it. And then next show will be Golden Economics and Egon and Alligator and Mark McGuire and things like that. I don't know because it's a long show. I was told by my friend the algorithms have a problem because I say gold, economics, baseball, football. They don't know where to put me. So she said, just try to, so this one's mostly baseball and gold. So the algorithm can go in that spot. And then I can still talk about anything. But this way, the algorithm doesn't know where to put me. So I tried to cut it down. Hey, Nick Maida, what's going on? I'm fine. Just sold out crypto for silver. Good for you. Took my bag and ran. Now, what did you have? Bitcoin, and then what was the prices? I have no idea. What did you sell it at? I saw it was down to 61, and with BlackRock involved, it ain't going up; it's going down, just like they fucked up gold. So good for you. It was a good time to buy. Silver just got hit, and gold got hit yesterday. So either one. I hope you bought some gold. And yeah, you're better off out of crypto. You do not want to be there. Again, it's priced in dollars. When the dollar goes out, crypto won't have a value, but gold and silver doesn't need the dollar to have a value. And they're going to start buying oil. Saudi Arabia and Russia want to sell oil and for gold. Demand for gold's through the roof. China and India through the roof. Russia, Saudi Arabia. So here we go. And really, there's nothing, they're doing the derivatives. Yesterday was bullshit derivatives, shorting it, but not free market. It's not like, I'm trying to sell my homes and I don't get any offers. No. That's not what happened. There was no profit taking. There was no condensing or any of that. It's just bullshit, price fixing. JP Morgan, same guys who did Madoff, shorting it. So had smaller crypto coins that are much cheaper than Bitcoin, and it had about a 10% bull run. One thing I love about getting into the card hobby is that it's free market, everyone wins. Well, that's the beauty of, that's exactly what eBay is. It was a Adam Smith guy who did it, where it's all free market. But the best part is you can sell your card to some guy in Germany or some guy in Russia or China. They can buy it, and it's on PayPal. There it is, or on eBay. There's PayPal. So if you don't get the PayPal, once you got it, it's gold and you're done. So that's what it is free market. And that's why we're getting out of, that's why the dollar's going to zero, as will all the other dollars. And gold, once we get rid of this COMEX price fixing JP Morgan, and we're almost out of them, then you're just going to see gold run and run and run. And it's not even going to be priced in dollars. See, the beauty of it is it won't even be priced in dollars. So right now it's $2,200, $2,300. It won't even be in dollars. It'll be, I'm going to buy a house. I have this ounce of gold, or a car. That's what it's going to be, is the gold will buy things, because it's just like the Mahomes card. There's a movie called Are We There Yet? With, what was it? Sinbad, or the other guy? Who's the other guy? Like Sinbad. God, I can't think of his name. It's a very similar, funny guy. And so he needs his tires taken, and he has a Yao Ming rookie card hologram. And he offers the guy, the mechanic, I can give you this card if you can give me the 4 tires. And the guy takes the card for the 4 tires. That's the power of the card market. Glad I had the professor's knowledge in the back of my mind to make the best decision. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's why I do it. And, really it bothers me when Greg and John goes, why don't you teach it? Well, why don't anybody know? Because they don't teach it. My college doesn't teach this anymore. They don't teach it in high school. They didn't teach it in my first college. It was Keynesian economics, which nobody knew what the fuck they were talking about. I couldn't follow it. I was on the dean's list for my master's program at Walsh College, which is very much laissez-faire, free market college. And I couldn't understand in 5 words in my undergrad Keynesian economics class. So they teach it, but nobody learns anything. So that's why I do it, because I just don't think it's fair that nobody knows what's about to happen to them. And I don't want to, as long as I can say something. That's why I get frustrated at the pool when I'm saying, look, the tidal wave is about a mile away. It's coming. And everybody says, forget it. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm trying to prevent forest fires, as we can say. But yeah, that's my point. You understand that this is worth shit, and you get out of it, and you don't want your money in the bank, and you don't want your money in the Madoff Ponzi scheme of Wall Street. I mean, to tell you how corrupt Wall Street is, Madoff was the running NASDAQ. You got Madoff running NASDAQ. That says it all. The biggest scammer in the world running NASDAQ, and you want to put your money in the stock market. Very interesting thing I'm going to show you Egon in a little bit, where he basically says, you don't own your house, you don't own your stocks, you don't own the money in the bank. It's all the guy. It's just a deed that you have. So if you put 20 grand in the bank, it's not your money. They're holding, you have a claim to your 20 grand, but it's not yours. The bank can keep it and say, it's not yours. We're keeping it. We need it. The money's collapsing. We need the money and we're taking it. And there's nothing you can do. That's why I say, get the fuck out of the bank. Look, buy a safe, put it in. I saw this on my way home. There's a storage units where you can, that show where you open, nobody claims it, and they open and you bid on buying the storage unit. So I saw those. I got to check out the prices, but just buy a safe, put your gold, put your money in it, and your gold and your silver, and buy one of these storage units that you got a lock and key for, and that's it. Nobody's going to break into them because nobody knows what's in them, and so therefore, why would they risk it? Anyway, so that's the safest way, but you just all the gold and silver and your Mantle cards and your Burrow cards. I ended up not getting the Burrow card because it was a 9.5. This is not even a 10. And the guy wanted $75. No. I'd let it go. Had it been a PSA 10, I would have thought about it because I don't have any Burrow cards. But I got so many cards, it's hard for me to buy a new one. I got Montanas and Rices and Staubachs and everybody coming out of my butt. I like Burrow, but if I didn't have these others, I would buy one. But it just makes no sense to add to my inventory. I mean, this is the only Mahomes card. It's not even his rookie. This is the only Mahomes card I got. The only reason I bought it was because it's 50. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought it. But I know a limited card's going to go up in value. Nick, I think I'm one of the few students of professors that can attest to your results. Well, I think a lot of people after last year, I know Bobby can, after I talked both of you out of that LSU game that you still bet against Florida State. And then we got the Mahomes playoff run when he was a dog 3 times. So, yeah, I think most people get it. How much do you want a PSA 10 rookie card for Burrow? I can work with you. I have one. Let me see it. Email me a picture. I don't know. We can see. So I'd have to see what it is, but really, that's why I like buying the cards like this that are not graded, because I can grade them myself by looking. Are the corners sharp? Is it, this is a 10, but do we trust PSA to get it graded? So send it to me and let me check it out. Yeah, just send the picture. But you got it. Did you buy it graded, or did you have to send away and get it graded? So let me check that out. But all right, we'll talk football draft as soon as we're done with baseball. So first game, Boston and Cleveland. Tanner Houck 3-1 with a 1.35 against Ben Lively, 3.60 ERA. So it looks Boston with this pitcher. Tanner Houck is 3-1, so he's pitched with a 1.35 ERA. So now this is our fundamental. We're taking Boston, but now let's look at Boston. They are an A team, 103 and 85, which I'm still tweaking the numbers if it's really an A team or an over team. A 2.52 ERA for Boston and a 2.28 average. So Boston seems like an under team with this pitcher. So it's either going to be under the pitcher, and they're playing Cleveland, who I got as an A team, 124.72, a 3.03 ERA, and a 2.59 batting average. So I think I'm going to go Boston and not under. Ben Lively, let's go Boston. But I'm not going to 5-unit it yet. Philly and Cincinnati, we hit Philly yesterday, got the W. Today, Philly 15-8, Cincy 12-10. Christopher Sanchez for Philly, 1-2 with a 2.95. Andrew Abbott for Cincy, 1-2 with a 2.70. We got some live dog ERAs here. So my first thought is let's go under. Let's check it out. Cincinnati, 112 and 91. They're an over team with a 3.92 ERA, which I don't know if that's good, and a 2.27 batting. You think Cincy hits more, and they got a 2.27 batting average, but they have 112 runs. So they don't hit, but they when they do hit, they drive in runs. And Philadelphia is an under team, 96 and 85, 3.39 ERA and a 2.40 batting average. So pretty low. So do we want to go under? Yeah, we want to go under. Let's go Philly under 8.5. And we'll make this a 5-unit. Very small play. You bought it graded. I'll check my email in a little bit. Let me get through the baseball. But I would charge you PSA 9 price. I'll send. Okay. That's fine. Let me see if I love the pennants and is this an LSU jersey or a Cincinnati jersey? I think the LSU jersey would have more value because it's such a pretty jersey. All right, Milwaukee Pitt. Milwaukee 14-7. Pitt 12-11. Milwaukee's a 110, 8.5 over under. Tobias Myers, 0-0 with a 0-0-0. Is he good or has he not pitched? And Bailey Falter, 1-1 with a 4.05 for Pitt. Tobias is no stats. So this guy has never pitched. This is his first game. Wow. 2016 6th round by the Orioles. So this guy's basically a pig. So this smells like an over. Let's see. Milwaukee is a team, 114.79 with a 3.52 ERA and a big batting average. Where it was yesterday, I don't know. They scored 2 runs. Pittsburgh, 96 and 99, is an over team, 4.08 and a 2.40 and 8.5. So we're going to try over one more time. We're going to go Pitt over 8.5. We can't trust either pitcher. Myers, we certainly can. He's never pitched before. And Bailey Falter's 1-1 with a 4.05. So both teams seem to be able to hit well. So you can see where I'm first going pitcher versus pitcher to make 75% of my pick. And then we're kind of looking at the team. Now, I am not sure of overs and A teams yet. There's like 1 or 2 A teams that I'm kind of like Milwaukee's 114.79. The Yankees are 100.79. Atlanta's 121.84. Cleveland's probably about 124.72. So again, I'm still not clear on, like in pro football, if you're under 20, you got a great defense, and if you're over 25, you're the Lions. I don't know what to do in baseball. I mean, I don't know. Is 92 a bad run? Then I got a couple of 79s. I got KC gives up 70, and I got Cleveland giving up 172 or 72. So I think those are anything in the 70s. I think is if you can hit. And then I'm looking at like over 110 for a team or an over team. So we'll see. All right, Milwaukee Pitt. We got Pitt over 8.5. The Dodgers in Washington. The Redskins and the Rams. Good game. Wow, the Dodgers. What a huge favorite. 210 and a 10. We hit the Mets. That was a big one. You missed that one, Nick. We had the Dodgers were a 250 favorite, and I gave the Mets out, and the Mets won. I was proud of that one. It just didn't make sense. The pitcher on the Dodgers sucked, and the Mets had a pretty good pitcher, and the Mets won like 9-4. And the Dodgers are a 250 favorite. Today they're 210. I don't get why the Dodgers are 13-11. Why are they 210 favorites? James Patton, 2-0 with a 2.81 against Patrick Corbin, 0-3 with an 8.06. I think that explains it. So, yes, I would take the Dodgers in this situation, although I do not like the 210. Over under 10, I don't see how you can go. It's a very tricky game because the Dodger pitcher is a 2.81. You're not scoring, but Washington's is an 8.06. Now, here's what I think will happen. The Washington pitcher will pitch 3 innings. So you're being fooled while you think the 8.06 will give up the 8 runs if he pitched 9, but he'll pitch 3, and then they go to the bullpen. So with that said, let's look at Washington. 80 and 89, they're kind of an under. A 4.16 ERA, but that's their whole team, and a 2.33 batting average. So a 2.33 batting average is not going over 10. They're not going to score in this game, and the Dodgers will probably put up 6 or 7. The Dodgers are an over team, 124, 109, so they score a lot. Their bullpen's 4.13, and they bat 258. So this game, not going to be – this is probably an under game. So let's go to L.A., and then we'll go L.A. under 10. It's like football. You need both teams to be able to score, right? USC, Colorado. USC, Oregon, or Colorado, Oregon, you never got the over because Oregon's defense. So USC or Colorado couldn't score on Oregon, hence 44-6. You're not going to hit your 70-point over-under. You will in Colorado, USC, but you're not in UCLA. USC was an under because you had one great defense with no offense against an offense with no defense. The defense shuts down the over. So Caleb didn't show up against UCLA or against Oregon. See, this is what I don't understand. Caleb's the number 1 quarterback. But look at his UCLA game and look at his Utah game. He doesn't show up. He kind of shows up against Washington, but not really. I don't know if they played Oregon or not. He doesn't really show up against Arizona, who had a good defense. So I'm like, where in the world is he the number 1 pick? The number 1 pick to me is Joe Montana, who beat USC and he beat Houston and he beat, all these good teams, Michigan. And it's funny. I watched a Notre Dame Michigan game, Joe Montana against Michigan. And you would have thought, oh, Joe Montana won. Michigan killed them, and they picked Joe Montana 5 times. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Montana looked human, for Michigan to do it. So it was very surprising. They played a nice zone on him, and they blitzed him, and he threw a lot of bad passes. But you didn't see that too often. That's why he went in the 3rd round, because of the Michigan game. All right, L.A. and L.A. under. Detroit, Tampa. Detroit's they're the real Riddler team, the Enigma. Who the fuck knows what you're getting with this team? Tampa Bay's a 160 favorite, over under 8. Kenta Maeda, 0-1 with a 7.64 for Detroit. He sucks. Ryan Pepoyet, 2-2 with a 4.37. Now, this should be an over, except neither team can score. Tampa Bay is actually, they're an over team, 93-111, 248. In Detroit, kind of an under team, or an 85-84, but with a real good bullpen, 294, and a low average. So it's going to be hard for Tampa to score a lot, but they will score on the starter. The problem is then when do they get to the bullpen? After what, 3 runs or 4 runs? And are we going to get to 8? I got to go over, even though I hate it. So let's go T-Bay over 8. You got a starter of 7.64 and a starter of 4.37. We got to assume at least 6 runs and then something in Tampa's weak bullpen. So let's go over 8. Oakland against the Yankees. The Yankees at 225 and over under 8. Paul Blackburn, he's a wicked 2-0 with a 108. Don't want to bet against him. Marcus Stroman 1-1. How the fuck can you make New York be a 225 favorite against Paul Blackburn? Stroman 1-1 with a 2.42 is very good. I think you know where we're headed. Yankees 179, kind of an 18, a 237 average, 299 ERA against Oakland, who is a Z team, 63. They give up 100. 207 batting average, a 4.18 ERA, but Blackburn's going to go 7 innings here. This is our first 10 start today. We're going Oakland under 8. And we're going to make this a 10 unit. So this is the big play of the day, Greg and John. Paul Blackburn 2-0 with a 108, and the Yankees with a good bullpen and no hitting. And Marcus Stroman, he's a 2.42 ERA guy. Oakland's a very light hitting team, a Z team. So here's where the pitching. So normally they'd be a Z team, but with Blackburn being a 108 ERA and he's 2-0, he's pitched at least 3 games. How the fuck can so you got to ignore the ERA and just look at Stroman now supersedes it. So here's where the start is going to supersede it. The batting you can see, and then the Yankees aren't going to hit this guy. So this is definitely an under. I would wager a small amount on it. And there's no way I would touch the Yankees at 225 against Blackburn. You got to be nuts. What is that line? That's a crazy line. So I would think that Oakland's a live dog and the under. I like the under a little bit better, but I would think Oakland, another 1 or 2-0 win is coming up here. Miami and Atlanta. Big mismatch. Atlanta's a 250 favorite. Atlanta's better than the Dodgers. They're an over team. They're an A team. Great hitting. Trevor Rogers, 0-2 with a 3.92 for Miami. Atlanta, Max Fried, 1-0 with a 7.71. Do I even need to look? Atlanta's got the highest batting average, 290 and a 4.32. Atlanta is they got them as an A team, but I think they're an over. And with Max Fried, they're definitely an over. And Miami is a Z team. They give up 123, a 4.83 ERA, and a 2.16 batting average. So even they should hit Max Fried with the 2.16 batting average. Here's my next 10 star. Take Atlanta over 8.5. This is another 10 star. So the Yankees, you would think you're taking the Yankees as a 10 star. No, that's an over. This one, Atlanta with a 290 batting average. It's unfreaking believable. Now here the 250 makes sense, but not with Max Fried. See, here you can't bet Max Fried and take the game and take Atlanta. That's ridiculous. You got to go over 7.71 and a 3.92, and the way they hit, they'll get you the 9 by themselves, I think. So they could win, but why you're going to lay 250 is ridiculous. Toronto, KC. Toronto's a 120 favorite, 8.5. Kevin Gausman, 0-2 with an 8.16 for Toronto. Smells trouble. Michael Wacha, 1-2 with the 3.75. Kansas City is an A team, 108 and 70, a 3.18 ERA and a 2.41 batting average against Toronto, the Maple Leaf. Toronto, KC. So that's KC, Toronto. The Maple Leafs, they got 86 and 90. They're an over team with a 4.41 ERA and a 2.36 batting average. We're going to go over here. Go KC. Go over. They should hit. And we'll make this a 5-star. They should be able to hit Gausman. 8.16 ERA and the bullpen sucks. And they're a good team. So go. I think KC wins. I don't know why Toronto's the favorite in KC. Yeah. Fuck it. Let's just take KC. Forget the over. Just take KC 5 unit. That's ridiculous. You get a live dog. All right. Chicago and Minnesota, the two worst teams in the league. Minnesota, look at us, 275 favorites with the 7. Eric Fetty is the starter, 1-0 with the 3-1-0. Pablo Lopez, 1-2 with the 3.97. You can't go over because Chicago's hitting 190. And then you got Minnesota. I don't know, Minnesota. So, I mean, look, the White Sox hit 190 with a 5. They're a Z team. Minnesota is a Z team. You got Z against Z. They hit 194. I think you got to go under just because both teams suck. So mini under, but it's not a bet. Mini under 7, just because both teams hit 190. Houston and the Cubbies, good game. Houston's a 115 favorite in Chicago, over under 10.5. JP France 0-2 with the 708 against Wicks 0-2 with the 529. Houston's a Z team. They hit 271 though, and the Cubbies are an over team. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go Cubbies over 10.5. Oof. Ouch. I hope the wind's blowing out. Not a bet, though, just the pick. Arizona, St. Louis. Tommy Henry for Arizona. 0-1 to 687. Steven Matz. 1-1 with a 3.60. St. Louis is a 135, 8.5. Arizona, an over team. 131 and 103 with a 3.9 CRA, a 250 batting average. They're pretty healthy. What is St. Louis? 76 and 95. I have them as a Z team. 385 bullpen and a 220 batting average. So they don't score. Arizona's a much better team here, but they got a terrible pitcher. 6.8. So we got to go over. I think Arizona over 8.5. Couple more games. Seattle, Texas. Seattle's really an enigma too. Them and the Tigers and the Yankees. What the fuck do you got? 11-11. Texas 12-11. Seattle's a 115 favorite in Texas. Logan Gilbert 1-0 with a 2.33. Dane Dunning 2-1 with a 3.91. I'm going to go under 9. San Diego, Colorado, another mystery team. Colorado's a Z team, 5-18. San Diego 13-12. We won with them yesterday. They're a 150 favorite. Michael King, 2-1 with a 3.33 against Ryan Felter, 1-2 with the 5.06. Let's take San Diego again. Baltimore, very good team, 15-7 against California. We had them yesterday. We got the W. Grayson Rodriguez, 3-0 at the 2.63. Griffin Canning, 0-3. Then we're taking Baltimore. Pretty easy there. And the one that got us yesterday, the Mets, San Francisco, we went over 8.5. We got 7. We got the Mets. We got Frisco's a 130 and a 7, again a 7. Luis Severino, 2-1 with a 2.14. Logan 1, Rod 2-1 with a 2.93. We're going to have to play it, but we're going to call it San Fran under 7, not a pick though. So our picks today are Boston, Philly under 8.5, Pitt over 8.5, LA and LA under 10, Tampa Bay over 8, Oakland under 8, Atlanta over 8.5, Kansas City mini under 7, the Cubbies over 10.5, Arizona over 8.5, Texas under 9, San Diego, Baltimore, Frisco under 7. Our picks: Philadelphia under 8.5, 5-star. Oakland under 8, a 10-star against the Yanks. Atlanta over 8.5, 10-star. And Kansas City. So I got 4 picks. So Oakland and under and Atlanta over are 10 stars. Kansas City and then Philadelphia under 8.5 are just the 5 stars. So I do like San Diego, Baltimore. Arizona and the Cubbies over 10.5, but not quite yet ready. You buying a card, TK? I don't know. Right now, my thoughts on this, so I can't say yes. I got to see it, see if I like it, see what the price is, and go from there. So he said he'd do it at a PSA 9. We'll see. Now, this is what free trade's about, and this is what laissez-faire economics is about. We don't need anybody in between. So he puts the price out, and I see if I like it or not. If both parties are happy, we have free trade without any interference. We make the trade. If I don't like it, or the price is too high, I might say no, or lower the price, or maybe it's fine. So a lot depends on the card. If it's appealing, it's graded, and then the price and what I want to pay for it. So that's really where I'm at. I don't know. I'm kind of like, I prefer getting cards that are not graded, and then I can grade it. Sharp card, good corners, good lines, no centering to worry about. So this is a 10, should be, and I got it for $50. And it's going probably for 600-700. That's how I like to buy. I like to get steals because I can grade cars myself. But we'll see. It depends on the price. All right, so that's starts at 6:10, the Boston Cleveland game, and then 6. I love this 6:40, then 6:45, then 6:50, then 7:05. What the fuck are they doing? Any new in the NFL draft? Now, this is Thursday, and today is now Tuesday. See, I hate these trade-up scenarios. Who gives a fuck? This is so stupid. Imagine a world where the Vikings trade up to draft Drake May, putting the quarterback in the same division with Caleb Williams and Jordan Love. Okay, they all suck. You don't even know Caleb's going to start. And at what point do you think Drake May's any good? I don't know what you're watching that you think Drake May's good. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Not the year we wanted to have. Bryce Young trying to learn from ugly rookie year. Well, guess what? He won't learn anything because he stinks. He stinks in college. He stinks last year. He's going to stink this year because you can't teach how to read a defense and how to avoid a blitz and the hot read and everything else. He doesn't know it. He's not going to learn it. Let's see. Anything else? Yeah. Here's a good one. Is retiring with a 500K portfolio realistic? And it asks the question, yes, for gold, because gold will be worth 500 grand, not for stocks or money in the bank. But will they mention that? No, Fisher Investments will never say buy gold. They're going to say, oh, buy these stocks. And you can watch your money go bye-bye because they should be putting you in gold. But since they don't make commission on it, so who are they really in business for? It ain't you and your retirement. It's for them and the commissions. And keep that in mind. Don't forget that. Always check your phones, Don Corleone. Looks like this Caleb Williams is 1, and number 2 is Jaden Daniels, and number 3 is Drake May, they say. Well, who's they? Who is they? Do they know? I don't think they know. I don't think they have a freaking clue, Greg and John. I just missed Daria. She was on at 320. I sent her my picture at 320. Well, I sent her my other picture at 228. All right. So now we're going to go to Egon. Egon had one today. This is the greatest karate video I ever saw. The guy in the white's attacking the guy with a knife, and the guy with the white gets his ass kicked 25 times. The guy in the black, some karate guy. So I highly recommend watching it, especially now where violence could become a problem. And this guy is so good. The guy in the black, it's unbelievable. All right, let's listen to Egon von Egonovitz.
Most people don't even know that when they put money into the bank, it's not their money anymore. It's not their money. They can't go and say, "Can I have my money?" All they have is a claim on that money in the bank. They have just a claim.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time flies. Welcome to Egon von Greyerz. Last month, I was already concerned what we would have to talk about next time. Events are coming thick and fast. Gold has reached new highs. The Middle East war is possible at any moment, and it can, of course, get out of control. And Ukraine also brewing. Nevertheless, Egon, great to see you.
Good to see you, Jan. Well, things always happen when you don't expect them. But I've learned one thing in my business life and in my investment life: you have to be patient. Remember that I've seen the whole trend from 1971 or 35 gold going to the $850, and I've seen this whole trend which we've been in a major way from 2000 up to now, and we have to be patient because things most of the time they go sideways or correct, and then we get these big moves.
See, he's not understanding. It's paper. The reason you're not seeing the big moves and it goes sideways is the derivative trade keeping the price down. This is not a free market, as we discussed with Nick. The gold and silver prices are paper prices kept down by derivatives, so they're not real prices. So it astonishes me that Egon doesn't get that. Right? Am I the only one that can see this? Because all these other idiots think it's like free market. What's happening? That's why you're not seeing the prices at $800. Then Comex came out and lowered the price on purpose, and have been doing the derivatives ever since. That's why you got to be patient for waiting for Comex to blow up, and it's blowing up because they need gold to do their derivatives. That's why. So come on, Egon, wake up, man.
We are expecting, but we don't know when. But it's happening now in a big way.
Yes, the patience paid out already, and there is much more to come, I think. We are living in dangerous times, and precautions are now, they have to be done now, including precious metals, not just, but also precious metals. And I think, Egon, we are seeing, as you just mentioned, only the beginning. And because if you hear around, people are taking profits. Wow, gold is so high. In the future,
nobody's taking
profits.
Mistake
if you do that right now. What do you think?
Well, you're right. This whole move is happening without any buying taking place from the investors or public. I mean, there is central bank buying and there are BRIC countries buying, but the investment community is not buying at all. That's still, you look at ETFs or funds, they're going down still. And we ourselves haven't seen much buying. A little bit coming in now, a little bit more, but also, as you say, we're also seeing profit taken. And of course, it's a major mistake, as I wrote in a recent article, the exponential phase of gold and silver rally is now starting. And this is going to move very fast and very high for quite a long time. So no, and it will be overbought many times and still continue. This is not a normal market now. This is an exponential market, and we will see major gains. And at some point, I think from much higher levels, we will see vicious corrections. Obviously, even bigger in silver because it always moves faster. But the trend is going to be up for several years, in my view. So therefore, the time to get onto this trend, if you're not already in it, is now. Because don't wait for corrections, because they might only happen from a much higher level. So it's an exciting time.
Now, did everybody just catch what he just said? He sees the gold and silver price moving up exponentially, which goes back to filling the water with water, right? After 43 minutes, it's only 7% full. And then in 7 minutes, it fills up. So does everybody catch what he just said? Basically, the price for gold and silver is going to go through the roof. It's boom. Now it's about to happen exponentially, which means a lot faster. Do not wait. This is not a stock. Do not wait for it to drop because it's not going to drop. And where are you going to put it? Okay, so let's say you have 100 ounces. Okay, so you sell the 100 ounces at 2,400. Right? Oh, it's at 24. I'm going to sell it. Although the selling took place yesterday, so you're selling it at 23.50, let's say. So you're selling 100 ounces at 23.50. Okay, it's $235,000. Now you want to buy them back, but you got to pay a premium, which means you don't keep the dollars because so you get 235,000 of this is worthless. This is not worth anything. So you just traded sound money for here, or as the Batman Begins movie, Ra's al Ghul says, well, you gave up a killing stroke for a firm ground or whatever. You're going to fall into the ice. So what are you doing with this? Now you're back in this. You went back on the Titanic. Did you make any profit? Fuck no. Because to buy your 100 ounces of gold back, you got to pay the 23.30 at 100 for premium. You didn't make anything. Now maybe you bought it at 500 an ounce, so you made the difference, but now it's going to cost you to rebuy it, which you have to do. You're not going to stay. What are you going to do with 230,000 of these? Nothing. You're going to wipe. It's toilet paper. You're not going to do anything with it. So what in God's name can you possibly be profit taking? Now, maybe, what are you in an ETF? You know, those are just Ponzi schemes. Are you in gold stocks? That's not going to affect the price of gold. So what affected the price of gold is actually selling the physical gold or the derivative. And we don't sell derivatives. JP Morgan does. So all that happened was JP Morgan selling to get the price down. There was no profit taking. There was no, correction. It's a bunch of bullshit. Nobody is selling gold, physical gold. That lowered the price. TK, I'm glad you don't get a copyright for videos. Sounds good, TK. Enjoy the game, TK. What game am I enjoying now? All right. You're glad you don't get a copyright for videos. I wouldn't waste my time with it. I don't care. I like people to watch them. That's fine with me. You can learn. So what he's saying is that here comes gold and silver going up. Now it's time. It's going to make it's going to really go and it's going to jump. And don't hang around waiting for it to drop because there's no such thing as a correction or profit taking in gold. You're not doing it. Now, most people don't understand that this is nowhere near the high. This is just finally COMEX not being allowed to do as much as they can. And with all the other buying, even when COMEX drops, it's going up. So that's where it's at. So Keep that in mind. Gold and silver are just going. Luke, Bobby, it's just about to go. So here we finally go. All right.
But still, remember, we're not here for the price move. We're here for protecting wealth, and that's what the whole thing
That's
is
the
about.
bottom line.
You know, we are in the most dangerous times ever in history, in my view, where we have global problems of a magnitude that the world has not seen before, both financial, economic, and geopolitical. And that's really why we should hold gold and some silver for wealth preservation purposes.
Oh, hold it, because the paper's
Egon, what else can
worthless.
I say than to completely agree with you? Today, we'd like to address one topic that concerns many people, the great taking. There is a book by a guy called Webb. The gold prices is ever increasing. Let me show quickly some charts from your recent article. We clearly took out marginal line 1 and 2, and now we are on the way or even above 2,400 or close to it. So that's clearly a very strong bull market. And as you just said, nobody is buying, or very few people are buying. That is the kind.
We're all buying. What are you talking about?
Because still, as we discussed this also, the stock market still at elevated levels. There is no big fracture visible in the system yet, but that can come at any moment. So the calm before the storm.
Yes.
All right. First of all, the stock market is not up. It is being supported by printing money and putting it into the 4 or 5 stocks, the Amazon, the whatever, TikTok and Microsoft or whatever the buddies put it in, which is a bunch of bullshit. It's not free market, just like gold's not free market. So don't be kidded. That's what they want you to believe. Inflation's gone and there's no recession. Look at the stock market. That's because there's a freaking election coming up. So Biden wants to look good. Look what I'm doing for the economy. No inflation. Look at the booming stock market. Well, the booming stock market is a bunch of bullshit. You know, the Fed prints a bunch of money, puts it into let's put it into Microsoft and Amazon and all these companies, these 5 or 6 companies, and we'll say, look how good the market's doing. But it's not free market, and it's done by the government printing, and that's bullshit. That's not the real value of the stocks. So don't let that fool you.
Yeah, and sadly, it will be a storm that will be very unpleasant for the world, not just for holders of equities, but the geopolitical looks very, very, very dire and difficult. And so, we have to be very careful and very, very protective of what we have.
We come to the great taking in a few moments, Egon. But one indication for me that something critical changed is the correlation between the dollar and the gold price that seems to become weaker and weaker. Let's see. That goes back until 2006 or so, and it used to be gold rising, weak dollar. We see it here, or at least gold flat, dollar increasing. But usually, if the dollar rose, gold was weak. But here already, that correlation seems not to work to that extent anymore. The euro is very weak. On the other hand, the dollar is strong, of course, and gold is rising. Nevertheless, I think this decoupling is also a sign that there is a strong demand for gold, no matter what the currencies are telling, right?
Well, definitely. What is interesting, Jan, is that, okay, this is a relatively, in history, it's a very short-term chart of maybe 15 years or so. But, if you look at gold historically, gold is the only money, the only currency that has survived in history. Every single other currency has gone to zero and become extinct. And therefore, it's such an easy form of protecting yourself when you know over time you can never go wrong with holding gold because
you can't print it. You can't print gold, which means you can't inflate it, which means the price will never go to zero, like the toilet paper currencies whose price goes to zero because they print 20, 30 trillion of them. And of course, they have no value. So I don't know. Gold can't be printed. That's why it's the money to be in. It's as simple as that.
Currencies are always going to go down against gold. And you show the short-term move here, dollar gold. But if you take, since 1971, all currencies have gone down 97, 99% against gold.
100%.
And since 2000, they've gone down about 80% against gold. So the trend is so clear, and therefore, whatever short-term strength there is in the currency is really meaningless because all currencies are going down, and it doesn't matter which one comes first to the bottom. There's no prize for coming first to the bottom, and therefore, one should not look at currencies as anything else but the folly of governments to print money and destroy the currency, and that's what gold is really revealing by always going up against all currencies. But sadly, governments will, of course, never tell the people that they're destroying their money and that they should really hold gold instead of a worthless paper currency.
Exactly.
But people will discover that now in the next few years because, as we see, I think the acceleration down of the currencies is starting now. And this is why, of course, gold measured in worthless paper money will go up significantly. But I think gold will go up by even more than purchasing power. I think gold will, in the next few years, outperform also purchasing power because a lot of investors are going to want to hold gold from central banks, from sovereign wealth funds, investors, funds, etc. So, and as we know, there isn't enough gold around. So the only way that new investors in gold can satisfy their requirement for gold is by paying more for it, because they're not going to get more weight. They're going to get less weight and have to pay more for it. That's what's going to happen. So that's why I get on this gold wagon now before it's too late, because it's going to move up in a strong way again, only because the currencies are going to come down dramatically, and because the whole investment world are going to put more money into gold. And we know we can't produce more gold in the world. It's about a bit over 3,000 pounds from the mines coming every year.
3,000
and there
tons.
is more that can be got out of the mines. So therefore, if more people want gold, the only way they can get it is by paying more money for it, because we can't produce more. So that's an interesting situation with a squeezed supply and what is going to be a very strong demand.
Interesting, Egon, is an understatement, and I'd like to show to our.
So that's what I've been saying, and it's just concrete. I mean, all the currencies are the same. They're all printed. Why they're doing this? It's like, did they not hear of the Roman Empire, or what happened to Spain, France, and England, where they all went out? Is this something new? Or you know what? I don't know anything before I was born. Bullshit. I love that one. You ever hear Larry Bird, Magic Johnson? Well, that was before I was born, so I can't watch YouTube and see the games. Unbelievable. But see, this is the problem. This is the other benefit of gold. I went on Egon's Twitter yesterday, and gold's going down, and so he's making the comment, it's not gold going up, it's the dollar dropping, not gold going up. I said, so is the dollar getting stronger as gold's going down? I shut him the fuck up. He didn't respond. But think about it. The dollar's not getting stronger, so why did gold go down? If your argument is it's not gold going up, it's the dollar going down, then if gold's going down, the dollar must be going up. That's bullshit. He doesn't understand it. Anytime you have more demand than supply, the price goes up. That's the bottom line. If you got 100 people for the Mahomes card and there's only 50, guess what? The price goes up. If I have 100 people that want this limited Canadian Club 12, guess what? The price goes up. If I got 10 million people wanting gold and I don't have 10 million ounces, guess what? The price goes up because the only way I'm selling it is at 20 grand. I'm not selling it at this cheap price of 2,400. When it hits 20 grand, I'll think about selling. A lot will depend. What are, my working? What's my credit card status? Do I need it for a house? Well, the house and the car, I'm going to take 1 ounce and I'm going to say, I want your house. Here you go. Here's an ounce of gold. And I'll get the house. So I don't need to sell it. I'll just use it. But the price of gold will be so high because of the demand, because everybody's in these bullshit dollars and they're all going out. They're all going, the euro is going out. The dollar is going out. The pound, the Swiss franc, all of them are going out. So therefore, you already have Greece went out and the euro's out and Zimbabwe went out and Pakistan went out and Venezuela is out and Argentina's out and Brazil's there. All these countries are already out. So when the gold, they should be buying gold. So once that happens, the price, there isn't any, I have to pay more. And that's what we're waiting for. We're just going to, we'll just go, oh, yeah, you can, $30,000, you can have my ounce of gold.
Audience, again, this graphic that shows how the interest payments of the US are getting completely out of control. This one here, Egon, we see something changed. Okay, if your debt level is where it is and the interest increases, and now we saw that the CPI and the PPI numbers came in higher than expected, so they are already afraid that there will be not much interest decrease this year. This is a completely unbearable situation, and it speaks, of course, for more gold holdings, and the dollar will also pay the price for printing that much and for the QE that we can expect from this. So the risk of a financial event increases, a black swan.
Yes, I mean, what's interesting here is that the interest payments are now looking like they could be as high as 1.6 trillion at the end of this year. If interest rates don't go down, which of course as everyone has forecast, but people are now starting to question that. As you know, I have never believed that interest rates are going down at this stage. I think that the trend changed in 2021. The long term, we had a 40-year decline of interest rates from 1980 to 2021. And now we're going to have a long-term trend up of interest rates, which means also of inflation. The market is not expecting that, so maybe a big surprise. But even if we have, so if there are no interest rate cuts and the US continues to spend the amount of money they are spending now, making the deficits they are making, it looks like the interest on US debt could already at the end of this year be $1.6 trillion, which means that will be the biggest expense in the US budget. And that's something that
all right, first of all, as you print $1.6 million, it's not worth $1.6 million. So if you print that much money, the value of the money automatically goes down. So you need 1.6 trillion is not worth 1.6 trillion. It's worth 1.4 trillion. Or it's worth it's only worth 1.4, not 1.6. So the more you print, the less it's worth. So it's not going to be worth that. Interest rates cannot come down because inflation, as we know, with all the money printed, which is what inflation is, you can't lower interest rates can only go up because if I'm going to loan you $10,000 with inflation, I want to get back $12,000 after the inflation. So I'm going to have to charge you an interest rate to get $12,000 back Because if I don't, and you give me 10,000 inflated dollars for my 10,000 now, I'm only going to get back 8,000. So I must charge you an interest rate. Inflation's not going anywhere because you have printed 21 trillion and you got another 130 trillion out in the world making these stupid inter country payments. And therefore, how in the world is interest rates coming down? I mean, it's a fantasy. It's just bullshit. You can't just lower them. Inflation means higher rates 100% of the time. Inflation is judged by how much money is printed, not by cost year over year for Coca-Cola going, oh, well, look, it went up from $2 to $6 and then it stayed at $6. So inflation's over. Well, how about the inflation? They got it from 2 to 6. So they don't even know how to count it. It's really not counted. It's just how much money did you print makes it worth nothing. At the end of the day, costs are only if the market will bear it. If the market won't bear a price increase, doesn't mean inflation went away, because inflation's how much money you printed.
It's gone forward, and as you said, that will affect the dollar in a major way, of course. And plus, it will affect U.S. bonds when they'll become, they'll crash. And if bonds crash, rates will go up even further. So it's a real vicious circle. It's not going to end well.
Yes, you definitely have to take precautions. And now let's talk about web, because you can also try to hedge the risk with ETFs. We told several times, rather avoid them, or with mining stocks, other equities, or maybe gold-backed bonds. There are so many offers on the market, but there is a big risk overshadowing this thing or this whole investment idea. And that's what Webb brought to light. He wrote a book recently, or he published a book recently, and it all started decades ago when collective custody of securities was introduced. You no longer have a security in your name, but you have it only as a book entry. This made the transactions easier. There are many positive arguments, but the shareholder became a so-called entitlement holder to shares against an intermediary. And he says now, Webb, that if hits the fan and such an intermediary gets in trouble or becomes insolvent, then your property, your stocks, bonds, etc., are in danger or might be lost. Let me show quickly a paragraph from the law. It's clearly said the purchaser becomes an entitlement holder. So he has a legal title to this security, but it's called an entitlement. And this entitlement can be at risk. What's your opinion about that?
20 years ago, I decided that I didn't like the risk in the world, or we decided also as a company. And I was extremely worried about the derivatives, which have been growing exponentially, and in my views are still a lot bigger than what the Bank of International Settlement reports of about 600 trillion. But 600 trillion is big enough, because that's about six times world GDP. So that's more than the world can cope with. Everything now is backed by derivatives, or everything consists of derivatives. More stock funds, ETFs, bond funds, everything is a derivative. Very few. The instruments are very often just a very small part of that, and the rest is leveraged. And in my view, derivatives could be as high as 2 quadrillion because of the shadow banking system, etc. Not the 600 trillion that the BIS is reporting. So this is a ball of fire. This is a nuclear weapon, as Warren Buffett said. Nuclear weapon of mass destruction, this derivative matter. And basically, what you're saying, nobody actually owns anything directly. It's all in indirect form. And then it's been leveraged and really hypothecated many times over. So that actually most people end up earning nothing, and most people don't even know that when they put money into the bank, it's not their money anymore. It's not their money. They can't go and say, "Can I have my money?" All they have is a claim on that money in the bank. They have just a claim, and if the bank loses money somewhere else, your money is gone. Because it was never your money. The day you put it into the bank, it's not yours anymore. You're just a normal creditor to the bank. It's a very dangerous financial world. And this David Weber has, of course, highlighted this in the book, and there's a film also that you'll find on YouTube. It actually happens to. I mean, I'm partly one of my home countries in Sweden, in Switzerland also. I've got 2 passports from birth. But he actually lives in Sweden now, David Weber. I haven't met him, but I'd like to meet him. Maybe I will this summer.
Interesting. And he says also, Egon, that they use your securities that you have in your bank account, which puts the bank as an intermediary between you and the security, by the way, only. And then the depository trust corporation also, or Clearstream, which again are very small, capitalized, do not have a big capital. So in case of an emergency, they have to be protected by the state, maybe by printing money. So it's all, so you can hardly keep the overview how complex this is. But let me read a little part from Webb's book. Essentially, all securities owned by the public in custodial accounts, pension plans, and investment funds are now encumbered as collateral underpinning the derivatives complex, which is so large, an order of magnitude greater than the entire global economy, that there is not enough of anything in the world to back it. That's what you just mentioned, Egon. So it's a house of cards that will for sure crumble down, which brings us to the Exeter pyramid or the Exeter funnel. And that is very interesting, because when it comes crumbling down from top to bottom, then they will flee into gold. Here it is, credit default swaps. So we have the derivatives complex on top, and then it becomes, the more down we get, more secure. But treasury bills, okay, we will see how secure they are. But then at the bottom, we see gold. And when this complex crumbles, I think we will see, Egon, gold prices that nobody can imagine today.
That's correct, and I've been saying that for quite a while. Gold and silver also, but gold is the number one. This is the king of the metals, and gold will reach levels that no one can imagine today, as you said. So that's a fact, and that's not sensational in any way. And of course, this pyramid is, as it shows there, is inverted here, as it's shown. But of course, the bottom of this pyramid, or the foundation, more importantly, you should call it, should be gold. This whole system should rest on gold. Now it's resting on just fake instruments, whether that's fake money or fake derivatives. And derivatives, of course, is the biggest financial asset there is today, as we said. 600 trillion officially, and I think it could be in the quadrillions. And that, in my view, and I've been talking about that in many articles, I think that at some point these derivatives will come under attack, and of course counterparty will fail. And when counterparty fails, then the whole system will implode. In the beginning, central banks will try to print money to save the derivatives market. But, you cannot, when you talk about world GDP being 100 trillion, and you talk about at least 600 trillion of derivatives, and as I said, might be in the quadrillions, they cannot print enough money, and the money they print will become worthless. But initially it will become bank debt, and that's why bank debt will increase exponentially, but it'll be meaningless because it'll be totally worthless. And at some point in the next few years, that will implode, and then we'll have a real problem in the financial system. Then there'll be bank closures, and then there'll be defaults. Stock markets will crash, bond markets will crash, money will be worthless. There will be absolute catastrophe in the financial world. And sadly, as we discussed before, we have no world where also the geopolitical side.
Paragraph from the law, it's clearly said the purchaser becomes an
Fake instruments, whether that's fake money
Sorry about that.
or fake derivatives. And derivatives, of course, is the biggest financial asset there is today. As we said, 600 trillion officially, and I think it could be in the quadrillions. And that, in my view, and I've been talking about that in many articles, I think that at some point, these derivatives will come under attack, and of course, counterparty will fail. And when counterparty fails, then the whole system will implode. In the beginning, central banks will try to print money to save the derivatives market. But you cannot, when you talk about world GDP being 100 trillion, and you talk about at least 600 trillion of derivatives, and as I said, might be in the quadrillions, they cannot print enough money, and the money they print will become worthless. But initially, it will become bank debt, and that's why bank debt will increase exponentially. But it will be meaningless because it will be totally worthless. And at some point in the next few years, that will implode, and then we'll have a real problem in the financial system. Then there'll be bank closures, and then there'll be defaults. Stock markets will crash, bond markets will crash, money will be worthless. There will be absolute catastrophe in the financial world. And sadly, as we discussed before, we have no world where also the geopolitical side is also extremely fragile. So we're in for very dangerous times now, yeah.
Well, the out's going to be the BRICS countries with all the gold. He who has the gold makes the rules. So really what's happening is we're in a dollar world where everybody has dollars, or euros is in dollars, and British pounds and Swiss francs. Everything's in dollars is going to go out. But look who the smart one is. BRICS, Russia, China, India, Saudi Arabia. They have gold. They'll be fine. Everything in gold will be fine. It's the dollars going out. So the dollar system's going to crash, and you just need to replace it with gold. Why these people are so stupid to not have gold, I don't know. Or do they have some gold? We'll see. But that's all that's happening. You're making a switch. You're going from orange to blue, right? So everybody in orange is out, and then here comes blue. So everybody in the paper is going to suffer, and everything's valued in dollars now. So all that needs to happen is you value things in gold. You come out with gold and you value things in gold. Not CBDCs, not Bitcoin, nothing. Only things with a value that are backed by gold will have value. That's what needs to happen. And then it's a seamless transition going from dollars to gold. Now, are these people that stupid who are running our country, our finance? Are they this stupid that they don't understand this? Yeah, probably. I'll put money on that. So basically, if you want to gold, it would be seamless. Okay, this is now worth, a quarter ounce of, this is now worth 25 cents or whatever in gold. Not even that. I mean, maybe this 5 is worth 25 cents in gold. So that's what you got. 100, that's worth a $5 gold bill. That's basically what it is. So that's what needs to happen. Will it happen? I don't know, but that's what needs to happen. So we will see, but really it shouldn't be. It's just the dollar world collapses because you printed too much of it. It doesn't mean the economy is set that all you need is a medium of exchange. So as long as you replace it by a solid medium of exchange, gold-backed currency, then everything's fine. Then everything's set up. You get paid in something. You feed your family. You pay your rent. You buy your clothes, and then you invest in other things. Then you have the rest of the money for investment. It's not any different than what you have now. Say's Law, Adam Smith is all there. So instead of making 100,000 US dollars, you now make 25,000 gold-backed dollars, which will buy you more than the 100,000 US dollars. And you just need to translate it. So whatever the hell they've been doing is just it's all crooked. It's all Madoff. I mean, Madoff's basically been running the country since the 70s when you went off of gold. It was probably Madoff's idea. And basically, this is the problem. You fuck the system up by getting off of gold, and now you've got to fix the system by getting back on gold. It's very simple, but they won't do it. So again, they keep talking about the dollar system. And we are not in the dollar. We need to get out of the dollar system into the gold. Look what Zimbabwe did. They came out with a gold-backed currency. Look what BRICS is doing. Coming out with a gold-backed currency, and then everything's fine because everything's priced in gold, which you can't print, you can't inflate. So if you understand that, A, you buy gold because it's the only safe thing. B, you buy gold because it's also going to go up in value tremendously because the demand for gold is going to be huge. The fact that the dollar is already out doesn't matter. That's really the problem. So we will see what happens with that. And we're just waiting for the gold to go up in price, which we know it will because they fucked up the dollar system so bad that that it's all gone. I mean, the dollar's worthless. So just understand, but the medium of exchange, the Adam Smith system, is still there. You're going to get paid, and then you're going to use that money to buy blue shirts, and they're going to sell you blue shirts, and everything's fine. Nothing should change except for the medium of exchange goes from toilet paper to a gold back. You know, you're backed by gold. Now you got gold behind it. Now the dollars are sound, but the system's already in place and fine. Adam Smith, Austrian economics, never stop working. You just fucked up by printing the dollar. What are you doing? What did you do with the whole monopoly bullshit of, oh, the guy from Switzerland wants to buy a euro. He needs to sell it to buy dollars and take the dollars to buy the euro. What the fuck was that? That's what really screwed the system up because you printed so many dollars and everybody's stuck on dollars. Everybody has to hold them, and now they don't have a value. Instead of just simply keeping on the gold standard and not going to these wars and whatever your social programs, just revalue gold. Why didn't they revalue gold at $1,000 an ounce? Then you could have printed more money and you'd have been fine. Why is gold on the books at $45 an ounce? Who in their right mind would do that? We don't want gold to have a value because then you won't want the dollar. The dollar will lose it and we won't do it. You're idiots. Just go on the go back. Seems like the Romans were okay for a couple thousand years on the gold standard until they went off the gold standard. The Roman Empire was number one. They had no problem. Why? So it works, and it works for a long time. Only because they got off the gold standard that they go under, which is the same thing that's happening here. We're on it from 1879 to 1913. Why did we get off it then? Especially it's in the Constitution. Why aren't we going with the Constitution? Why did we have a Constitution to use? It's the rule book. So it's like the NFL, and the guy gets called for holding, let's look up the rule about making a catch. Well, forget it. That's the rule book. We're going to ignore that. And that's basically what's happened is it's a joke. So don't want that. Anyway, gambling. Why do we gamble? There's two reasons. We gamble to win, and we gamble for the excitement. And we have to figure out what it is. why do we do it? Why do we play poker? To win. Or do we go because it's fun? I'm in Vegas. Well, I came to lose $1,000 to have fun. It's exciting. I don't do it at home. That's why they play slot machines. Everybody's shy and afraid. And oh my God, there's a dealer and other players. So I got to go to the slot machine where I can just put in all my money and just pull a lever. And I don't have to, I can still be shy and whatever happens. And I'll lose all my money, but at least I was okay. I mean, Jesus Christ. Learn the games, learn everything. So I was in the pool yesterday, and some lady comes with the trust issue. Well, we don't know who you are. How can we trust you? How do you trust anybody? Like I said to Greg and John last week, you trust people by giving them a test. And the test is simply like, well, let's say let's say you're dating a girl. The test is, can you pick me up? Can you stop and get me a pizza or something? And if they do it, then you can, if they say they do it and they do it, then you've built trust. And then how far the trust does it go? And if they don't do it, then you don't trust it. If there's something happens and you don't trust them, then forget about it. I've had that with people where I simply lose trust in them and I say, I don't trust you. I don't want to be around you. I don't want to be around people I can't trust because I don't know who they're talking to or what they're saying because I don't know what's true and what isn't. So it's very simple. You give them things and they trust you and then you can trust them. So when I tell Daria I'm giving her $100 for food and I give her the $100 and there it is. I said, Thursday, there's Thursday, boom. She gets it. She trusts me. She knows, he said he's going to, and every time he says he's going to, he does. I can trust him because he gives me his word and that's it. And that's really what it is. And that's the bottom line. I mean, that's really what you're trying. I mean, that's why you have a relationship or a friendship is all for the trust. So then it's partly stoic where you want to spend time with the person. Do you want to spend time or not? If they're quality, and then can you trust them? And if you can't trust them, you just walk away. So you don't want to get too attached at first, so you can walk away. And so you do that, and that's the trust issue. So that's what happens. So go back to gambling. Why do you do it? You do it for the fun. Well, isn't there a cheaper way to have fun? Or do you have to be in the casino? Do you have to play in the casino? Can you watch in the casino? Now, the point would be the same thing. You should know the game. If you're going to play craps, you better understand the game. You better understand the odds, how you win and lose. With the seven, if it's seven outs you lose everything. You need to understand the game and then play it accordingly. And do you play it for fun or play it to win? Now, I always play everything to win. So I will get up and I will quit and leave up money because that's the goal. Now, I don't know. Playing for fun, you're going to lose. So do you want to take $300 out and play for fun and lose? I don't understand that. Because do I have fun if I lost $300? No. Well, what if you go, you go on a trip with the girls and you go on vacation? Well, that's different. That's a vacation. So I know I'm going to spend money and have fun. But it's not, I can't really quit ahead. It's not gambling. It's going to have a good time where you're going to spend money. So you take a trip to Vegas, you're expecting to win when you gamble, but you're expecting the flight and the hotel and the food are going to cost you money. So you understand that. And that's the difference. I'm not going to the casino as the same as going to Amsterdam or Switzerland or something. So when I go to Switzerland, I know I'm going to fly in the hotel and the food, and I take trams. I don't or trolleys. I don't take a taxi. So when I understand that, that's the difference. But when I going to the casino's business, and I'm playing to win. So James Caan in the Gambler movie is playing to. I think he's playing to win, but he wants the excitement of it. So it's funny because he plays to he does play to win, but he loses. He doesn't play properly. He gets on a streak and he quits, and he gets on a losing streak and he loses 44,000. But as he's starting to get hot, he keeps quitting. He hits the roulette and he gets up and leaves. He hits the back rack 3 hands in a row, gets up and leaves. Hits the 21 in blackjack, gets up and leaves. You're like, no, you're not moving anywhere. You're staying. You're hot. That's what you're looking for. You found your streak. You can win $1 million. So you want to gamble to win. When we play football or these baseball picks, we bet to win. We're trying to win. We're not playing to play. So to win, you've got to understand the game, and then you have to have money management like football. How do you win at football? You figure out what your bankroll is, and then you play small percentages of the bankroll on the bets that I study and try to teach you how to come up with the pick. Well, Mahomes, good defense, Pacheco and Kelsey, we're going to bet on them. And that's the point. We look for key variables that get us to the expected outcome, then we can bet on it. And then we bet small because, as we see, the variables are variables. So sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And that's what we're trying to understand. And then if the variables stop working, we go to other variables. My trends stop working because too many changes. I realize that if Tom Brady's not there, I can't use New England trends. So then it becomes I have to come up with new ways, new variables to win, which I did, which is now the defense and the quarterback and stuff like that versus betting the team as a road dog. I'm now looking who's got the best defense, who's got the best quarterback, and am I going to have a high or low scoring game based on both teams' defenses and everything. And so then you get a team like the Lions, a good over team. They can score and their defense sucks. Kansas City, Frisco, they could score, but they have a killer defense. That's where the A team comes in or the over team, and then you start going accordingly. And then you look at the point spread, go, does that make sense? Like I did the other day where I bet over because the over under was 7, and that was ridiculous. And it went to 10 or something like that. So you've got to understand the game. You got to understand the variables. You got to understand your bankroll. So there's many different things you look at to win when you're gambling, and there's many different games that you play, but you should understand them. If you don't understand blackjack, you can't play it. If you don't understand roulette or baccarat, you can't play it. If you don't understand poker, because you're going to lose your money, and it's not easily replaceable. There is no money trees, as we know. Greg and John, TK, NBA playoffs suck. I used to like Celtics back in the day. What, in the 60s with Bill Russell? Red Auerbach lighting up the cigar. I don't like the NBA because of the analytics that says, you know what, if you make a 3-point shot, you get 3 points versus the 2 points of the 2-pointer. So let's all take long shots that are very low percentage because they get 3 points instead of 2. And some idiot comes up with this formula and everybody follows them. So that's like being a sheep. Well, you know what? Everybody's buying Amazon stock. I'm going to buy it. And then it tanks. Everybody's in the stock market. And then it tanks because the dollar goes and the inflation goes. And, and then people are all in the market. So they don't get what they're doing. They don't understand the game. I would never be in the stock market because of the whole nature of the beast. It's a Madoff. It's a Ponzi scheme. You think they control gold with derivatives. What do you think they do in the stock market? Oh my God, it's 10 times more controlled. How do you know that, though? You know, you got to be lucky enough to be in a stock that goes up overnight, because once it goes up, then you get in it and it stopped going up. And so it's all fucked. Look at the gold stocks. They drop at 10 o'clock. At 10:30, they start going up. So when do you buy? At 10:35 as it's starting to go up. I once answered a question in class like that. So I was in my master's and there was a question came up. The teacher said, Monday, the stock market normally goes down. The question was, do you buy stocks on Monday? And my answer was yes. At 3:59, when they've already dropped and now they're starting to go up, I want to buy. And I argued that question. I got it wrong initially, and I argued it going, well, no, if it went down on Monday and I can buy them as they're coming up before Tuesday when the price fixes come in, then yes, I do want to buy Monday, but at 3:59. And he said, you're right. He gave me the points for it, because in my logic, I'm adding into the question, which is my logic, which is, would I buy Monday? Absolutely, because it goes down early, but it doesn't. If it's going to go up Tuesday, I'm getting the jump on it, and I'm 100% right. So that's how you got to think. Stocks are scams with those companies. Well, you don't even know if you're getting Enron or you're getting Madoff. An Enron is simply the stock being fabricated. They don't have the revenue and they're just saying they do. And that's the problem. You got to trust these crooks who are running the companies that they're actually giving you good financials, which you don't know. See, gold's so simple. It's a no risk. You're going to make a fortune on it with no risk. But nobody wants to do it. They're all, it's too boring. It doesn't go up fast enough. I want to stay in the dollar. I want to buy stocks and get dividends, because the dividends are so, I get 3%, which I get to pay tax on it. And in gold, I don't have to pay tax on it. Well, but then there's the carrying costs and insurance. I don't insure my gold. I don't have carrying costs. What are you talking about? I lock it in my safe. And that's it. That's my security, and there's no insurance, and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So this is the difference. Banks are bigger scams, Greg and John. The bank's going to tell you we can't give you your money. When I transfer a lot of money into my bank, I am running there the next day and just trying to get, if I put in 50,000, it's all right, give me 15 grand. Okay. I can take the other 15 grand tomorrow. And then, and I don't mind keep going back to get 10, 15, 20 grand. I don't ask for the 50 because I don't anticipate I'm going to get it, but I just hit them for 15 here and 15 there, and I can get the money out. So I'm able, but I move quickly. I don't wait. But when the banks start closing and you got money in the bank or in a safety deposit box, you're fucked. But you trust the bank for some reason. You trust the government for some reason. You trust Madoff for some reason. And I don't know why you do it. What I hate is when I try to help people and they go, we don't know who you are, so why would we trust you? God, maybe because what I'm saying, if you would listen to what I'm saying instead of worrying, do you know me or not, that would be the reason. So what do you do when you're in class? So this is what I don't understand. So you're taking a master's at my school. Well, how can you trust the teacher? You don't know him, right? Same logic. Well, I don't know the teacher. I'm going to trust him. You don't know me. Well, but if you listen to what I say, does it make sense? So even though you don't trust somebody, I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm asking you to listen, and I'm telling you to buy gold. I'm not saying to trust me. I'm not selling you anything. The fuck are you talking about? So don't look at me. I'm trying to help you. So by not taking my help, you didn't help yourself. So when the gold goes up and the dollar goes out, Hey, maybe I should have trusted that guy who tried to help me instead of saying I don't trust him. Yeah, they trust stock companies. Well, they trust stockbrokers, or everybody has money. I mean, everybody, most people, they make money and they pay their bills and they have extra money, or they get an inheritance from their parents or something. So they have money, and then who do you listen to? And the problem is nobody knows themselves. So nobody's smart enough to go and figure it out. So I give you that option of I'll tell you. I'll teach you so you don't have to dig. I'm digging for you. And so all you got to do is listen, take notes, ask questions, and then you'll know what to do. And then you'll be like, wow, I just made all this money in gold. I got out of the banks. I got out of the stock market. Look at all the money I saved. I'd get you out of Madoff, but you probably wouldn't listen because you go, well, I'm getting all this money, so why would I listen? That's why I asked, how do you get all your money? So let's say you're in Madoff and I'm here. You go, well, Howard, I'm in Madoff and I get 15% a year, I guess, and I get these monthly payments. What do you think? And I'd go, how are you getting 15% when everybody's getting 5? Because interest rates are low. Okay, how does he do it? Well, I don't know. He won't tell me. And I'd be like, then what the hell are you doing? I mean, that's sort of like going on a date and the girl won't tell you where her name is or where you're meeting her. And you think you're going to meet her. So it's one of these internet, hot chick. I'll meet you for dinner and whatever else at 8:00. I go, what's your name? I can't tell you. Where are we going to meet? I can't tell you. And the odds of that meet happening are 0. That's Madoff. The odds in it being real are 0 because he won't tell you how he's going to make the money. What is that? I mean, that's ridiculous. So that's the point. You should get how do you do it. Now, I bend over backwards. Here's how you pick football games. Here's why you buy gold. Here's why the dollar's crashing. And here's economics. So now you go, yeah, I understand it. And you can tell your friends. Although Bobby and Greg and John seem to have a hard time explaining to their people to buy gold, or their brother, and I'm the idiot. Well, I'm not the idiot, but you guys don't know how to explain it. So you don't know it well enough, and you need to either ask questions or take better notes. I can't put it easier or simpler for you guys why to buy gold, and you should tell people that should be jumping and running to buy gold and silver, but you can't explain it. So you either you say I'm buying it, you should buy it, or I'm buying it because the dollar's being inflated and gold's the only way out. And if they don't want to listen, then I wouldn't help them when a dollar goes out. I'd say, sorry, I tried helping you. They don't trust gold. Well, that's stupid. They trust money, but gold is money times 100. Well, why don't they trust gold? Why don't you explain it to them? I trust gold. You trust gold because I could explain it to you. Gold cannot be inflated. It can't be printed. There's only 250,000 tons, and there's a lot more demand. That's why you trust gold, because it's real money and you can't inflate it. You can't print it. Printing of the money is what destroys it. That's the inflation. So simply, the money is being inflated and printed to death. It has no value. Go to the grocery store and pay $3 for a 2-liter Coca-Cola. Why is it $3? Because the money doesn't have value. It takes $3 to buy what you used to spend 99 cents on. And the only thing left, the only money out there that can't be printed and inflated is gold. So now what's the problem? Why can't you explain that like that? And then when you do explain it, why would you not trust gold? And why would you trust money? Do you know it's been? They don't know what inflation is. I doubt they know what money is. Right? This is just paper. This is not worth it. This is not worth a nickel. This isn't worth anything. Maybe a quarter. It says 5 on it. Yeah. Okay. Good luck. Is that everything is so high because dollars overprinted? Oh, exactly. Everything's high because the value of the dollar has dropped so far that it simply takes more dollars to buy it. The prices have not gone up. A Coca-Cola costs $3 for a 2-liter because the dollar has lost value, and therefore they need $3 to get the same value they used to get for $1.50. Or Fritos or Oreos, whatever the product is, it has not gone up in price. The dollar's lost more and more money because they keep printing it. That's the problem with the debt. So you got a debt of $36 trillion, and interest on the debt, Egon just told you, is $1.6 trillion, which is really not right. This is really more, because if you printed out $1.6 trillion, the value of the dollar goes down even further. So you need $1.7 trillion to get to the $1.6 trillion. And the more of that shit you do, the less, again, the value of the dollar's dropped and dropped and dropped, which is why we're buying gold. We're not waiting for this ship to sink. We know the ship's sinking. We know we've hit the iceberg. We're on the Titanic. It's hit the iceberg. The water's coming in. Do we need to wait till the boat's on the bottom of the Atlantic to get off? Or can we add 2 and 2 and go, let's see, a hole in the boat. The water's coming in. It's probably going to sink. I better get the fuck off the boat onto a lifeboat. Well, the dollar's being printed to death. All the water's running in, all the printing of the dollar, and it's going to sink. So I got to get off into a lifeboat. What's a lifeboat? Well, I can't go to a euro. It's not a lifeboat. And the Swiss franc's not a lifeboat. And, the yuan, the ruble, none of them are lifeboats. The only lifeboat is gold and silver. So I'm getting on that lifeboat. Now, what you tell me is that they don't believe the dollar's sinking. No. You got a $36 trillion debt to start with. You got $130 trillion throughout the world in this bullshit, Swiss franc to dollar to euro. So you got a whole lot of money printed, and you've got to realize that printing the dollar like that causes it to lose value. You can't just keep printing without the consequence of losing value. So when you look at printing destroys the value, they printed it to death. It has no value. Go buy a Pepsi and it's $3, So if you start doing that and seeing how expensive things are, it's not that they've gone up, it's the money is so worthless because they printed so much that you need more of it to get to the same point you did. And that's the inflation part of it. You've printed it to death. So you can either hold on to the dollar that has no value because they printed it to death. Go to the Fred. There's a Fred website. It says, oh yeah, gold. Where's my sheet? And it says money supply. How much money is printed? Oh, $20.8 trillion just in the US has been printed. Another 130 trillion around the world. Do you think it has a value? That's why, I show you the Mahomes 50 count, because this is his only count. It only has 50. So that's going to have value. I'll buy it because it's limited and it'll have value. Versus another card that is not limited, that has no value. So this is the point. This is the whole idea. The money has no value, so you need to get into something with a value. But you got to be able to explain what's happening, because most people are freaking clueless. They don't have a clue what's happening, or why. And that's why go to Venezuela, go to Argentina and Brazil, go to Greece, go all over the world and look, and they're all heavily inflated, and it's all poor countries because nobody can afford anything. They need a different currency, one backed by gold. That's why Zimbabwe did it. But did you ask yourself why? I showed you that Zimbabwe going to gold. Did you ask why? Did you understand the concept that if it's backed by gold, you can't inflate it? You can't. It's not going to be worthless because it's got gold's backing. So do you understand that? That's really what you need to understand. That's the whole premise. Why the gold standard? Why did they go on some other standard? Because they can't print gold, and the value of their dollar will always be there. So that explains everything in a nutshell. So, take notes in my classes. I'm telling you 12 times what's happening. And then you should be able to tell your brother and your friends and whatever, and Bobby's kids, what the hell, why are you buying it? And if you just do that, or turn on this video and have them go to the video and look at it. So the question, they trust money. Why? Money not back. I trust money backed by gold. I don't trust money not backed by anything, because theoretically I'm trusting the gold. So if you don't want to buy gold now, you're an idiot. You have no idea what you're doing, and you're going to lose your ass, because you're going to lose, your house is going to go to zero. However, it'll recover because it'll be valued in gold. You should have saw the look on the guy in the pool I told today. So we're kind of running together, and I says, well, you do realize what's happening. The value of your house will go to zero. And he what? I said, but then it gets priced in gold. So it goes to zero in dollars, as everything will, and then gets priced in gold. So if I come up with an ounce of gold for your house, you're going to take it because that's real money. Because gold's real money, because they can't inflate it. And everybody agrees. So the biggest component of money is everybody agrees to it, right? So the first component, it's a medium of exchange, what everybody wants. Everybody wants gold. Now, if your friends don't want gold, then they're too stupid to talk to. You have to explain it's money that can't be printed to death. It's been around since the Roman Empire, and that's not why the Roman Empire collapsed. It's because they took the gold and silver out of their coins is why they collapsed. When they had the gold in their coins, they were number one. And as soon as they pulled the money out, they were gone. As simple as that. So again, it's always the corruption. They can print the dollars and they can't print the gold. So they don't want to be in gold, because they want to be able to print dollars, and they don't understand the consequence. If I print too many dollars, they're worthless. This is the biggest problem people don't understand, especially MMT Keynesians. Well, we'll just print to pay for the debt. There's consequences. Oh, there's not. We can just print. Oh, okay. Good luck to you, fella. I'm going to go buy gold if you're going to keep printing to pay for the debt. Anyway, I think that's about it. The girls are okay. I'm waiting on the job, but I figure Thursday should be a lucky day. It'll be the 25th, which is the 7th, so we'll go. My friend told me, she said, I'm doing something May 5th. Oh, well, that's I thought it was still March. And then I realized, oh, yeah, I did pay taxes. And it's April 23rd. She says, this is next Sunday. And I go, oh, yeah, okay. So I forgot it was April. So again, still planning on a July meet with Daria, which will depend on her mother being able to fly into Russia to take care of the daughter, which should be fine. And she did it last year, so and it'll be good for Daria to get away. She could use it, and we'll have a good time in Belgrade, which looks really nice. I mean, it's Serbia, but it's like redone, and it's modern, and a lot of these European cities. Even I was looking at what Ethiopia, and I'm thinking the antelopes and Kip Kenyo and everything. And they showed the city that looked beautiful, nice buildings and a nice highway. And you're like, Jesus Christ, look at this place. So a lot of these countries are built up nicely, and especially the gold back ones. So look for Zimbabwe to make a huge recovery. BRICS. So May 14th, we're almost there, a couple weeks. Gold back currencies green lighted on the table. They're coming out with it. And here we go. So don't be stupid and think you're going to outsmart. I'm going to wait for gold to drop and buy it. You got the drop by mistake because of all the derivatives being done, but that was not as, and maybe to buy, but if you have, you do not want to sell. You do not want to profit take, because this is not anywhere near where it is overbought. It is still very, very young, and will get much more mature, and this is not the time. All right, let's see. Gold price 23.22, so it's going sideways. Silver 27.30. Again, people just aren't buying. There's not enough buying activity, which I don't know if the central bank buying the gold creates the price to go up. I'm not sure. I know the derivatives create the price to go down. I'm not sure what are you buying gold from COMEX? What if you don't buy the gold from COMEX? They're all going around COMEX. And again, this is a paper price, not a physical price. So this is a bullshit price. Remember that. We are going to get a physical price when BRICS comes out with the gold-backed currency. Then we get a physical price. And that's what we're waiting for. And the physical price is going to be much higher than this stupid, diluted paper price when they sell 500,000 ounces of paper gold, which doesn't exist. And we wonder what's going on, right? So keep that in mind. Anyway, I'm getting hungry. It's 10 to 6, a later day. I didn't get started right away. Again, I had a phone call, and I got to this pool late, and that was it. And then came back here. So I'll find something to eat. I'm out of dark chocolate. Well, I'm trying to stay away from any type of sweets. My feet feel a lot better. Although I notice my back's a little tender once in a while, but I'm able to stretch it out. And I got chicken I need to make. It's chicken breast, so I will cook that tonight. Just it's the hassle of cutting it up and marinating it and then cooking it. So maybe I'll try to do that, but I'm a little tired, so we'll see. Anyway, waiting to hear on the jobs. Figure Thursday, Friday, I will report back, and then looking into teaching this for real to get paid. Probably here. So I'll probably do this type of class and then a paid type of class, a private class where you need to pay to play. So we will see. Anyway, I think that's about it. Have a good night. Go gold, beat Navy. Go silver, beat Navy. And I think that's it. So Egon, very good. I mean, it's the same thing. Gold's going to the moon. They're inflating the hell out of the dollar. We all know this. It's the same thing. It's just, it takes time. So I got to repeat what inflation is, even though I've already said it, but it fits like what's happening. Or the price going down yesterday was because the derivatives selling it, price fixing it. Well, okay. And notice today it's back 23.20s. So it didn't go down to 2,000 or 1,900. Hits and goes back up. And there's just not a lot of, see, the problem is there's not a lot of buying left because most of the gold's been sold. Most people have the gold. So if they do derivatives selling all this, what are you selling? It's already, you don't have any. So this has to be stopped. And that's what BRICS is going to do, is stop this bullshit of them selling gold that doesn't exist. How the hell are you selling it? That'd be like me selling the Mahomes card. I'm going to sell two. Well, I only have one, but I'm going to sell two. You're just not going to get the other one. What the fuck? How can I sell two if I only have one? That's the problem with gold right now. That's the fixing part of the paper gold. They're selling all these extra ounces that they don't own, but you can only buy so much. So it doesn't, the whole thing makes no sense. It's the stupidest system I've ever seen. It's just dumb, right? Retarded. And these are the people running Comex and JP Morgan, by the way. And then they protect themselves. They go, yeah, we are price fixing, so we'll pay a fine. We're not going to put ourselves in jail for doing this type of price fixing, but what the hell? I mean, we're JP Morgan. Hey, Luke. Recap, it's up to 23.20 today, so it's 23.22 right now. So it got down to 22.95 to 6 a.m. So that you see this 4 to 6 a.m. knock, and then it didn't do. So yesterday we never got this big run. Today we got it. There's our 10 o'clock drop, and then back up, and now it's 23.22. Silver 27.30. Expecting there's less activity to push it down tonight at nighttime. So we're expecting maybe 23, 35, 40 by the end of the night. And then tomorrow moving back to 23.60, 23.70. I showed an Egon clip where he's thinking gold and is going to go to the moon. So this is a new one out. And, he basically just says it's going to go up so high you can't even imagine. So it's on here. I showed it. So watch that one. It's 20 minutes. It's a quick watch. And basically that's what's going to happen. It's going to go to the moon. This is paper price, we know. And BRICS is coming out in 2 weeks. We're almost going into May. So May 14th, and when BRICS announces it, the man's got to go up, and off we go. And I don't know how much JP Morgan has in gold to go do these derivatives. They can't just sell 10,000 ounces of gold and they don't have any. They got to have something to sell it with. So it's becoming less and less that they actually have that they can do this with. So that's basically it. So we got our bounce back, as I said. And, again, this is the paper price. So we're waiting for the physical price, which will be next month in Russia. And you'll be fine. And then the dollar's going out. So the demand for gold will go to the moon with everybody freaking out because their boat's sinking. The Titanic is sinking in all the countries. And the dollar goes to zero, and everybody goes, where do we go? And everybody goes in the gold, not in the stocks or Bitcoin. I like the sound of that. I knew you would. I tell you on it. I don't know. I think I did baseball. It's on after baseball. So it was like an hour into the show. To the moon, yep. I thought this would happen a few years ago. This wait has been tough. You should teach this this Atner School Hotel or something. That's the idea. You should teach this at a school well, that's what I was talking to my friend about exactly this morning. This is why I'm on later. And she agrees that teaching this, nobody understands economics. Nobody understands the gold fixing. Nobody understands any of this. So yeah, it'd be a huge demand. I'm looking into that. I'm used to mistypes with you and Bobby. Hopefully all of Congress goes down with the tanking. You've got to understand, when the dollar goes out, there won't be a government. because the government needs money to function. And if they don't have money, they can't function. Now, are they going to come out with a gold-backed currency? I doubt these idiots are smart enough to do that. So what are they going to come out with? Another fiat currency that's worthless? So all they need to do is come out with the medium of exchange is there, the system set up. You got the wrong medium of exchange. You got a dollar printed to hell to zero. So you just need to come out with a dollar that's backed by gold and nothing. There'll be no problem because you've got just change the medium of exchange and then go get paid. They switch your dollars, go buy, the system set up, laissez-faire economics, leave it the fuck alone and let it go. That's all you got to do. It's not hard. Everybody's panicking because they see the dollar going out. Yeah, the dollar's going out, but not the gold. It can't. So you'll be very happy in your new house that you paid maybe 2 ounces of gold for. Maybe you can even give them like 10 ounces of silver and an ounce of gold. And silver is going to go because it's got to get to 10 to 1, and it's not anywhere near 10 to 1. 10 to 1 would be $232 for silver. And that is cheap, I believe. And again, because I don't believe gold at $23.20 is the right price. Gold's about 10,000 because you can see what happens yesterday, right? They do the derivatives, knocked it down $80. Is that free market? Absolutely not. It wasn't profit taking. So therefore, the real price of gold just from yesterday should be $100 higher. So we're not looking at the real price of $23.20. So that's why I say it's somewhere 10,000 or north when you get rid of the COMEX crap, which makes silver 10 to 1, which makes silver 1,000. That's where I get my numbers from. But this is a joke. This is going to go so much higher. But people don't understand. They don't even understand the difference between paper gold and physical gold yet. So how are they going to realize what it is? So that's the problem. That was awesome yesterday about we are the world video joke. It wasn't a joke. I was not joking about that. I was serious. I want to show, I'm going to run a test. I'm just going to do like a 2-minute video and I'm going to show that Gaddafi and see if it kills me for it. It says, no, you can't show it. Now, as long as it lets it go, I will play the Gaddafi. And then you'll really understand a real the world joke about getting all these idiots to not charge, to get all and to make billions of dollars off these CDs and not have to pay any of these idiots thing. And I was serious. The Bruce Springsteen and Willie Nelson, these guys can't sing. They're horrible singers. Bruce Springsteen's a terrible singer. He wore jeans. Everybody liked him because he sweated on stage or something. I don't know. His music was the songs were good, but his voice terrible. I hear versus M2 money supply is 20K. What kind of numbers was Egon talking? He was talking that you can't imagine numbers. It'll be so high because you know how he says the exponential, where the football stadium at 43 minutes is only 7% full of water, but then the last 7 minutes it fills up. He says we're starting that. He says exponentially the price is we can't imagine. And the thing is that we both know is it won't be priced in dollars anymore. And that's why I say you'll buy the house with the gold, like in the 1920s, because right now everything's priced in dollars. The Bitcoin, the cars, your house, and gold. But if the dollar goes to zero, what's the price? Well, there's only one thing left. You're going to price the house in gold, the car in gold, Bitcoin. I don't know if that gets priced in gold. And gold, and gold's worth, it'll buy a house because the person with the house is freaking out because his $500,000 house went to zero. What is he doing? What do you do if the $500,000 house is worthless because the dollar's gone? And then you kind of come around going, hey, I have this thing called gold that's worth a fortune. I'll give you an ounce for your house. And the guy will take it and run away going, thank you, because it's got a value, because people will freak out because their dollars will be worthless. So he said, just watch it. It's in the middle. I should have noted let's see. I can go to a transcript. Let me go to the transcript. Let's see. Well, let's go to 24. Oh. He was saying that you don't own your stock, your house, or your money in the bank. He said that is not yours. When you put 10 grand in the bank, it's the bank's, and they may give it to you, but they don't have to. And same thing with stocks. It's not your stock. JP Morgan owns it, or Chase, or whoever's got the stock. They give you like an IOU to it, but it doesn't mean you don't have 100 shares of Newmont Mining. You think you have 100 shares, you don't own it. They're kind of gifting it to you. So he made that comment. Get out of trouble, because before they become insolvent, then your property, your stocks, bonds are in danger or might be lost. Let me quickly show you a pair. I'm reading the transcript. I'll have to watch it again, but yeah, let's.
So he has a legal title to this security, but it's called an entitlement, and this entitlement can be at risk. What's your opinion about that?
Over 20 years ago, I decided that I didn't like the risk in the world, or we decided also as a company. And I was extremely worried about the derivatives, which have been growing exponentially, and in my views are still a lot bigger than what the Bank of International Settlement reports of about 600 trillion. But 600 trillion is big enough, because that's about six times world GDP. So that's more than the world could cope with. Everything now is backed by derivatives, or everything consists of derivatives. More stock funds, ETFs, bond funds. Everything is a derivative. Very few. The instruments are very often just a very small part of that, and the rest is leverage. And in my view, derivatives could be as high as 2 quadrillion because of the shadow banking system, etc. Not the 600 trillion that the BIS is reporting. So this is a ball of fire. This is a nuclear weapon, as Warren Buffett said. Nuclear weapon of mass destruction, this derivative matter. And basically, what you're saying, nobody actually owns anything directly. It's all in indirect form. And then it's been leveraged and hypothecated many times over. So that actually is most people end up earning nothing. And most people don't even know that when they put money into the bank, it's not their money anymore. It's not their money. They can't go and say, "Can I have my money?" All they have is a claim on that money in the bank. They have just a claim, and if the bank loses money somewhere else, your money is gone because it was never your money. The day you put it into the bank, it's not yours anymore. You're just a normal creditor to the bank. It's a very dangerous financial world, and this David Weber has, of course, highlighted.
So anyway, he gets to the point of gold just going to the moon. So let me read your questions. M2 money supply is $20.8 trillion. Just the M2 in the U.S. 130 trillion outside the U.S. for all these. Switzerland, Egon goes to Germany, so he sells his Swiss francs, gets U.S. dollars, sells his U.S. dollars to buy euros. So the U.S. dollar, there's 130 trillion of those floating around all these countries as the middleman, which is all going away because nobody wants the fucking dollar, and everybody is going into de-dollarization and going into BRICS. So they will get rid of the dollar. It'll be a gold-backed BRICS currency that does that, if it's even needed. That's the beauty of the BRICS currency. It'll just, I can take the BRICS currency from here and give it to you there and get rid of the U.S. dollar. So you got 130 trillion coming back. That's it. That's lights out. So M2 in the U.S. is 20.7 trillion, not K. What kind of numbers? So Egon's talking very, very huge numbers. He couldn't say. He just said it's. I'll play it. I played it earlier. It's on, but I'll look for it, and it's just huge. And so you think we're looking at 10 times, 20 times? That's 20 to 40K. Houses are worth like 500K. Is 212. That's nuts. Well, look at Germany. Germany, the guy was buying a house that was worth a lot. I don't know what houses were going for in 1923, but they ended up selling them for $100, and gold was $20 an ounce. So 5 ounces of gold bought the house, which was worth a lot of money. What you're missing is a 500K house is valued in dollars and inflated dollars. So it's really not worth 500K because the dollar is worth a lot less than that. And so as gold goes up and the dollar drops, the house is going to be worth zero, not 500K. So when the house goes to zero, then it's got to get repriced in gold. Now your gold's going to be worth at least 100 grand by then. I'm giving you 50, but that's in dollars. And when there's no more dollars and it's just gold, it's probably 100 grand at least. So 2 ounces will probably buy the house that was worth 500 grand. That is now worth zero, and the guy's freaking out. So he's going to more than take your couple ounces of gold and be excited that he got real money. That's the mentality of it, right? It's worth zero now. That's the key, is anything priced in dollars goes to zero because there's no dollars. So you got a credit card, you owe 10 grand on it. Guess what? You don't owe anything because there's no dollars to pay it off with. And the value of the 10 grand is now zero because it's in dollars and there's no more dollars. So once the dollars goes out, everything goes. Anything priced in dollars goes to zero. And then we're waiting for the new medium of exchange, which if it ain't gold-backed currency, it's going to be the same worthless piece of paper that we have now. And that's what you're going. And then if they do make it, now Zimbabwe, the dollar was 40,000. One US dollar bought you 40,000 Zimbabwe's. Now the gold-backed Zimbabwe, $1 buys you 13. So it went from 40,000 to 13. Just FYI, what gold will do for you. So right now, the gold's valued in dollars. When the gold gets valued in gold, it's not even close to where. So it's not like you have a $2,000 an ounce, $2,500 an ounce gold, and you're thinking, well, I'm going to buy a $500,000 house. No, the gold will be worth, not in dollars, will be worth gold, and the house is zero. Needs to be, what is it going to be? So what is a $500,000 house is probably, maybe $30,000 of gold, and your gold coin that was worth 2,500 is now worth 100,000 easily. because the whole world's been fucked. And the whole world, I mean, because this is going out also, our euro and this. So everybody's going to be in line for gold, right? Look at Costco now. They sell $100 million a month. I heard it's mostly Asian and Indian women buying them. $100 million a month. Okay, that's ridiculous, right? That's now. Wait till the dollar goes out. There'll be lines upon lines to get any gold, and so that pushes the price up and up and up. You're looking at a fortune here. All right. So if the banking system goes, the world will be a shit show. Question is for how long? No, it won't be a shit show because of BRICS. What is BRICS doing? They're coming out with a gold-backed currency. That will save the world. Gold always saves the world. So all we're going to do is switch from dollars to gold. Since we don't have any gold, we have to go move to a country that's in BRICS so we can get the BRIC money or find a way to get the BRICS money from here. So I'll have Daria buy us all a bunch of BRIC gold-backed currency and ship it to us. That's how we survive. Well, we survive because of the gold. The gold's what's going to make us, I mean, we'll be fine. And we'll be fine in BRICS countries because they got gold-backed currency and they got all the gold. It's just in countries where they have the dollar and they don't have gold because they're too stupid. Canada, England, US, part of Europe, Western Europe. Since they don't have gold, they need currency. So they need to get some gold, and it's going to cost them a lot. So that's really what's going to happen. Like I say, the medium of exchange is all set up. That whole system, Adam Smith's all set up here, right? What you're replacing is the medium of exchange of this worthless toilet paper for a medium of exchange of a gold-backed currency. All you got to do is switch that, and everything runs the same way. You get paid instead of dollars in gold-backed dollars, and then you go buy steaks in gold-backed dollars. We travel in gold-backed dollars, and hotels and clothes and everything else is gold-backed dollars. So that's all you're doing. But because we have gold, our dollars will be worth a hell of a lot more than people who are in this going. It says 5 on it. Yeah, good luck with buying something with the 5. So let's see. The reevaluate. Well, that's what BRICS is doing. We'll see in a couple of weeks. 20,000 would be the gold price at current M2. I don't know. Maybe. Economist Judy Shelton, never heard of her, is awesome. She just mentioned a gold standard coming 2026 on Twitter yesterday. Well, what are we going to do in 2024 and 2025? And where's the gold coming from? So I've never heard of this person, but we don't have till 2026. We got to do it 2024 because once BRICS does the gold, now can we use the BRICS gold-backed currency here? Well, they use the dollar there, so maybe. But I don't know who this woman is. She is known for her advocacy for a return to the gold standard and for her criticism of the Federal Reserve. She sounds Austrian, so okay, but she ain't going to tell me anything I don't already know. She is one of Trump's advisors. Hey, Greg. Well, I don't know if that's good or bad to be Trump's advisors, but is he Austrian? I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, the only way this is going to work is you need a medium of exchange, and you can't use this. This you've taken out of play. So your only medium of exchange has got to be a gold-backed currency. That's it. Especially with BRICS having gold-backed currency. It's the only play. Why we went off of gold, I don't know. Why we're too stupid to realize, well, let's see, Rome, the best team ever, had gold and silver in their coins, and then they got rid of it, and they collapsed, So let's see, if we take the gold out of our money, yeah, we won't collapse. We'll be fine. You tell me, but it's all bullshit. But the gold price, especially if we do it, the demand for gold will be huge. Now, we're not letting Trump have our gold. He can go fuck himself. He's not getting my gold. If I got to give it to Daria and Jenna in Russia and the Ukraine, I'm doing that. I warned Jenna, don't have your money in the bank. So I don't know where she's got the gold and silver, but she's got it in the white silver, tube that I show you when I buy the silver. So I put some gold in. I gave her one with a bunch of silver, and then she can put the gold in it. So it's easy to her to just slip it in her purse, and nobody knows she's got it. But I worry about the war, where who the hell knows? She's walking down the street and she gets a problem. So anyway, so yeah, you don't need her, Luke. You got me. I know more than she. I know more than all these idiots. But yeah, I mean, we're talking the same game. You got to go. You should not have a Federal Reserve, and you should not have this crap money. You need gold-backed currency, and you need low taxes, and you need free trade, and you need a constitution that we actually use. It's like playing football and not looking at the rule book, right? And get rid of the corruption, and stop with the with this whole bullshit of what do you call it? The people giving these politicians money. I can't think of the word, and or the whole I'm in office to get reelected because I get all this kickback money. I don't know. How does Joe Biden, who's been in office for 50 years at $30,000 a year, have eight houses and all these millions of dollars? I mean, he's not corrupt. Or Donna Pelosi with the insider trading on the stocks and all the kickbacks. God, I can't think of that word, but that's the problem with politics. You got to get rid of all that. That's not the point of politics. The point of politics is to represent the people, what they want and need, not to profit from it and get the kickbacks. The corruption stops once the corruption stops once the pay for play is gone and USD is worthless. Well, no, it won't stop because they'll get paid in gold. I mean, that won't stop it, but we need the US dollar gone. It's the only hope because right now it's just printed to death. It's worthless and nobody even knows it. We got to get back on gold. Now, for us, we're hope because we've got gold and silver. So we want to get on. We're getting on the ride early, like on the elevator. We're on the first floor and it's going up to the 20th. So we're like, yeah, wait a minute. We need some more gold and silver. But that's where it is. That's Austrian economics. It's simple. The people make decisions. You have to have sound money, which is gold back. You can't have anything else. And you have to have, free trade and strong laws, and you can't have the corruption. The corruption's got to be penalized. People robbing stores have to be penalized. People sitting on the sidewalks in San Francisco have to be penalized. You can't allow that. So you're ruining San Francisco so people can live on the street because all the apartments in San Francisco are $1 million. Who the hell? What is that? Why are they all so expensive? And who the hell is in them? Are they even occupied? I mean, all these people have millions of dollars for these apartments. Maybe the Silicon Valley people, but you need that. You don't have enough houses if these people have to be homeless because they can't afford $1 million home. And then now I understand why they're homeless. Where's the regular apartments? How do you diversify the risk of being robbed of your physical? Don't keep the money on you. Put the money in these storage locations where you got a key. So you got your stuff in the storage and then you aren't going to get robbed. You'll sit there and I don't got anything. And the storage bin's over there and you have the key to it and you take what you need. That's really, how is that different than having your money in a bank or having the money in a safe in the storage bin but not in a security box? You don't want it in a security safety deposit box, because when the banks close, you won't be able to get them. So you need it in a place where it's not going to close on you like these security bins, but you can't have your money in the bank. So I saw some as I was driving home today. There's all these, I don't know, these security boxes, or there's that show when you open up the garage and then you find out what was in there. They'd have fun with mine. They'd start pulling out Mano cards and gold and silver. They'd be like, whoa. But that's the only way to do it, just like you diversify risk now. I diversify my portfolio into gold and silver, Maple Leafs and Cougarans. But that's it. But yeah, expect gold to go. Just look at it this way. All the dollars going out, there'll be demand for everybody. What are they going to use? And if we go to the gold-backed currency, everybody else, Africa's going to a gold-backed currency because Zimbabwe got away with it. Now watch all the other countries go to a gold-backed currency because they got a lot of gold in Africa. That's what the U.S. and French were doing, was robbing all their gold and minerals and iron ore and stuff like that. It's a pretty rich country, and that's why they haven't been able to take it, because they've been controlled mostly by the French and some by the U.S. So we're all out. Russia's now taking care of them. They're not corrupt. And look for Africa to have gold-backed currency. So there's a lot of people that are going to want gold. And there's only 250,000 tons, of which I would say 245,000 of the tons are already gone. There may be a few thousand tons rolling around somewhere, but that's it. I mean, it's not like there's 250,000 tons sitting there in a pile. China's got 60 and Russia's got 30 and India, I don't know what they got. And all the central banks have, 1,000 tons, 2,000 tons for each country, and now Africa. And then, so the whole thing, and the whole BRICS thing is going to need a shitload of gold. So just demand's way high. Don't worry about the paper price, as I was trying to tell you yesterday. Forget about it. We know at the end of the race, the tortoise wins. So we just got to be knowing we're right, to stay stoic. Don't worry about it. Just how much gold and silver do I have? And then we're just waiting for the price to go up. So that's all we can do. To be stoic, we can't do anything else. All we can do, this was like, I went on the interview. I had a great interview. I did the thank yous. All I can do is wait. Either they want to hire me or they don't. There's nothing I can do. And it's the same thing here. We bought the gold and silver. All we can do is wait for the gold and silver to go up. That's it. That's all you can do, is just wait and understand. We know the rules. We know the game. We know it's going to the moon. We just got to wait for it. And we sleep happy, because when the whole world collapses, we'll have our gold and silver. Thank you, Greg and John. See what I say, I teach this to you at a very low level so everybody understands it. Because when I was in my bachelor program, the guy taught Keynesian economics. I don't know what the hell he said. He was talking. I had no idea. What the fuck are you talking about? All these graphs, this inelastic and elastic, because I still don't know one's a rubber band that expands, and one, I don't know. I don't know how it relates to economics. Something to do with prices that they'll go up or not. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Gas, you'll pay whatever it's at. So whatever that means is what it is. I hated economics in school. I did, because it's taught Keynesian, and it's taught with graphs and words that nobody understands. It's not taught so you understand it. I'm trying to teach you to understand it here. That's the difference. So yes, that's why everybody hates economics. And why nobody knows it. because they're turned off by it. Nobody understands it. Nobody knows it. It's too confusing. Even for me, I don't understand it. I don't understand Keynesians. I understand Austrian. So I make sure when I'm teaching you at a very low level that even everybody can understand it, even a 10-year-old. Oh, yeah, I understand that. I hated accounting. Yeah, accounting is another one. They're all languages, right? Accounting and biology, chemistry. They're all languages, and they don't teach them. I learned more about accounting in my finance classes. An asset's something we own. I go, wow, why didn't they teach me that in accounting? A liability is something we owe. I'm like, fuck, that makes accounting so much easier when it's taught like that. And, yeah, it's a very confusing language that they do a terrible job teaching it. And it's funny, I had this memory today in the pool about gym class. Doing what is it? You jump over the bar. What is that? The high jump? And so the bar set at like 3 feet. And I would jump with 2 feet. And they said, well, you can't. You got to jump with 1 foot. And I couldn't clear 3 feet because I didn't know how to jump. And I thought to myself, what I should have done is just taken the bar and placed it on the floor and walked over it and let the teacher say, you can't. And I'd say, go fuck yourself. Why didn't you teach me? I don't know how to do this because I would jump with 2 feet because I jump when I play basketball. I don't jump with 1 foot. And that's what I would do now stoically. I would just take the bar and throw it down and then I would just walk away. I would just walk away and let the teacher do whatever. And I would go to the whoever and I go, the guy never taught me. He didn't fucking teach me how to jump. I have no idea. I jump with 2 feet to do that. That's what I would do today. Somebody gives me a problem like that. I go, fuck you. You didn't show me. You didn't teach me how to go over the bar 1 foot. I don't know how to go over the bar 1 foot. I don't jump 1-footed. And if you want to have me do this, then you're going to teach me because you're the fucking teacher. And I wish I would have done that. I would have done that right now. But it occurred to me, like, I don't know where this popped in, but it was like, I got laughed at. So I was really pissed off. And, so I don't know. I didn't care. It's fucking gym class in 7th or 8th grade. I don't give a shit. What do I care? The grades don't even count till high school. So I'm like, fuck, I don't give a shit. What do I care? Oh, I can't jump over a bar with 1 foot. Oh, darn. Yeah, that's going to really affect me in economics. But yeah, accounting, chemistry, all these classes were taught very poorly. The textbooks. Now I don't even know what they do in school. I'm glad I'm not in school now. I do not want my kids in school. If they were going to school now, or any kid, I would just like, don't go. Like, oh my God, you can't go. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's government run schools. That'd be another thing on my hit list. Government out of schools, out of roads. You're not printing the money. That's not going to be a monopoly anymore. And whatever other crap they do, I don't want monopolies. I want free market economics. So that's the point to it. But the government wants to control everything. And this whole war in Ukraine is such a joke. And the defense contractors is such a joke. How the fuck this is going on is beyond me. Oh, lobbyists. That's what I was trying to come up with. For some reason, I thought about it with the C. That's the problem with government. You go in there for the lobbyists. They give you $1 million. You do whatever they want. So that they're the ones in charge, not the government people. And I would fire them all. I'd cut government 90%. I'd go on the gold standard. I'd do the gold standard first. And then I just say, I don't need Department of Education. I don't need the Department of this or that, and get rid of, the FAA and get rid of Fauci's group, and get rid of all that shit. We don't need the government to run it. That's not the government's role. Just handle the laws. Don't tax anybody. I would get rid of income tax, and then stop, print the gold, and have a rule book that actually is followed. That would be that's my view of what should happen. But I'm not sold on Trump. Just like I'm not sold on Caleb. I don't think Caleb's it. I don't think he'll do anything in Chicago. Check out the UCLA game and the Utah game, and then you'll see Caleb against good defenses. He didn't show up, so check those out. Then you'll see the Caleb you're getting. But that's the point of it. It's I'm not sold on Trump, so I don't know this Judy Skeleton. I've never heard of her. I don't know. I can check her out if I want to waste my time, but hopefully she's an Austrian. Where is she now? Why aren't they using Austrians? So I don't know. The communists have come. The Chinese are running the U.S. What good is Trump going to do? You think he's independent? I don't know. I don't like him anyway. Too much. You're fired. You're fired. You're fired. I hated that show. All right. I am really hungry. 6:30. So gold is at. Let's take our last look. But 23.22, silver 27.28. So we're kind of running flat now. I expect it to go up sometime tonight. We have a 2 o'clock drop, we have a 6 o'clock drop, and a 10 o'clock drop. We kind of got to avoid, or they can't be too much, and then we got to come running up. So I think we'll be okay. And then by the end of the week, I think we'll be at 2,400. I send my kids to private Christian hybrid homeschool. The government school is a bunch of poison these days. Yeah, well, exactly. I'm not sure the Christian school is better, but hopefully. TK, who is a lobbyist? Well, lobbyist is, let's say you work for Boeing and you want the government to use Boeing airplanes. So I'm going to give this governor or senator $1 million, and I want to make sure, and you got to take Boeing and your contracts and make sure that nothing affects the airplanes and stuff like that. So you vote the way I want you to vote, which is beneficial to Boeing or my whatever company I'm representing. Could be cigarettes, could be gambling, could be anything. So I'm paying the senator in charge. So in North Carolina, I want cigarettes to not be affected. So I'm paying the guy, here's $1 million. Make sure you keep cigarettes legal. And then he votes and he keeps it legal. And that's it. So that's what a lobbyist is. He pays the politician to vote for him, to vote his way. Perfectly legal, it sounds like. Are you kidding me? That's like going out in the NBA and I'm the coach at Golden State and I go to the ref. Okay, make sure we get all the calls. Here's $1 million. Yeah, how legal is that? But yet in government, it's perfectly legal to give the guy $1 million so he votes your way. What the fuck is that? So between the price fixing of gold and silver and this lobbyist price fixing, what kind of fucking world do we live in? It's a simple playbook, the Constitution. How hard is it to follow it? Jesus, makes the NFL look like a hard league. Anyway, you buy your gold and silver because where we're headed, you need gold and silver. And they can't print it. They can't inflate it is the whole key to it. You can't print the gold and silver. That's why you own it. The demand's huge. You can't print it. The price goes up. That's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so. All right, I'm going to eat. I'll try to be on about 2 o'clock tomorrow, roughly. And that's about it. So did I read yours right, Luke? Oh, I see what you're saying. 20K would be the gold price at current M2. No, I don't agree with that because the M2 is 130 trillion. So it'd be about 60K. But if you can come up with the dividing, I don't know. I haven't seen Bobby in a while since that day we were all three on. I don't know. I hope he's healthy. It's not like him to miss. He used to be on every day, and now I haven't seen him since that day. So I hope he's not sick. Normally he says he watches it at night, so maybe he's doing something during the day, and or with his girlfriend, and maybe at 8 o'clock at night he takes time to watch me. I don't know. I know he watches me because he tells me. He quotes stuff at it. So I don't know. No, it's like when I don't hear from Daria for 3 days, I get worried. So I haven't heard from Bobby in 2 weeks. So I'm not as worried, but yeah, it's nice to know where he is. Bobby hasn't been around in a while, but he might be busy on the beach with a margarita. Yeah, but he'd still show up like Saturday and Sunday. I was surprised when I do it at 11 o'clock that he wasn't here. Because he's always on. Well, we'll see football season. Anyway, I need to eat. I had this nasty headache the other day. I'm watching 24 and everything's fine. And then I'm going to bed and all of a sudden my head starts hurting. And I went to sleep and it woke me up. So I took some ibuprofen and it was weird. I don't get headaches. Sometimes when I'm lightheaded like I am, I get, but normally I don't. And I was concerned. And my eyes were like seeing things. But then it was fine after the ibuprofen. So I don't know, but I told Jen, I normally never get headaches. My feet bother me and my back bothers me, but never a headache. So I don't know what it was, but hopefully it won't come back. It was unpleasant. All right, I'm going to go eat. Have a good night, gentlemen. Buy your gold and silver. It's going to the moon. We got bricks in 2 weeks. Maybe low blood. Well, it could be, I guess. Because I've been staying away from sugar. Because I really wanted to, for my foot kept bothering me. So I've been staying away from ice cream and cake and all that shit. So maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but I was surprised I was sleeping and it woke me up. You figure once you get to sleep, and then I don't know, but I'm gonna go eat now. I got chicken, but I'm too tired to make it. I got chicken breasts. I'm gonna cut them up, put them in the broiler, and then I'll have chicken for the next 3 days. But right now I'm too tired to make that attempt, unless I cut up one and put it in the frying pan and eat it like that. Gold to the moon, gold past the moon, gold's going to Pluto. It's just, if you think about it, the whole world needs gold, right? The paper is worthless in every country. I think, i.e., George Soros is behind this mess. And I think that gold is the way out, and China and Russia and BRICS are smart enough to get it. And so that'll save everybody. It will be their gold, right? China's got 60,000 tons of it. That's food enough. So I think that's what ends up happening is we make some deals with China and Russia, get some gold back BRICS currency, and that'll end it. But that way the government can say, look, we saved your life after we fucked your dollars. We found a way to cure it. So yeah, gold, but the demand's huge in every country. All the dollars are going out, and especially in BRICS, they're just the need for gold's there, the dollar's out. So there is no other lifeboat than gold lifeboat or silver. So we're sitting on it's like the deal of the century. Like if we lived 1,000 years, we couldn't find a deal better than we have with gold and silver right now. It's just everybody needs it and they don't know it yet. So as they start learning it and pile in, It's going to be huge. People are still, oh, I got dollar. I'm in stock market. I got my money in the bank. Yeah. Good luck to you. Yeah. Enjoy being poor. And don't come to me after I tried to warn you. All right. I'm going to eat. Have a nice night, everybody. It was nice seeing you, Luke, and Greg and John and Nick. And we miss you, Bobby. And take care. All right. www.teaserking.com. I will see you tomorrow about 2 o'clock. I'll try for.